we are live. Usually we've been streaming on Fridays, but all of my players threatened to kick my ass if we didn't play tonight because they did not like the cliffhanger.
Damn,
So,
Skippy.
yeah. So we decided, I guess we're playing again tonight. So we'll see how this goes. Let me see. It was only last night. Someone other than Aaron, since she answered last time, give me a rundown of what happened last game.
Okay, well, they came out of the house or the Lord's Manor invisible
Mhm.
as we tried to escape. I got lost at one point, but Carrick was able to straighten us back on the correct path.
Mhm.
They released some bloodhounds after us, which Mist was very nice enough to distract them with a small fire. No danger. Allegedly. No proof. And then since three of them were invisible and the other and me and Biz were not, when we were running past Sydney's place, we got caught by a town guard who asked us what was going on. With some nice deception on our part, we convinced them that we were not suspicious and went back and helped them put out the fire so that they didn't raise any suspicions. Almost got caught by the dog, but Biz used her sick animal handling skills and basically befriended the dog and made it so that it didn't give us away. And then we went back. There was a long conversation with our innkeeper about how to deal with stuff, and we talked a bit, took a rest, woke up in the morning, went to a meeting in the town square that the Lord called because he doesn't like that stuff was stolen from him. And we started a riot. Yeah. There was a group effort. A lot of people contributed.
Oh yeah, there was definitely a mosh pit minus the music going on in the middle of the town square due to a tip to the hat Boondocks moment.
Yeah, and then
a chair was thrown in the middle of a crowd.
Everyone except for me and Biz escaped.
Again.
And we got shackled and bound and gagged and brought to the Lord's Manor.
Very good.
And that's where he decided to leave us off.
Very good. All right, Mercer, you can have a point of inspiration.
Ooh.
Yay. I will need that. That's why I was so
happy
to redo all that.
Yep. Good deal. Well, guess I don't need to reiterate everything. You pretty much gave us a play-by-play on everything. Sports Center couldn't have done it any better. So
been reliving that whole moment up until we got captured, trying to figure out what we can do.
Well, then, just to reiterate the last couple minutes, so Biz and Mercer were taken into custody under Lord Tornellis's authority over the town's guard to take both of you into custody and are now being taken towards the manor. While Carrick went a more scenic route to maybe avoid suspicion under the disguise of a Mask of Many Faces spell, making his way back to the inn, while Aaron and Mist smuggled the halfling Susan, the innkeeper's wife, back towards the inn, who was in custody at the time. And right before Mist and Aaron get into the inn, they were approximately 50, 60 feet away from the front door. They were so close. And Carrick was probably only, him knowing the town, Carrick was probably only about 100 feet behind you guys, if that, maybe even 80 feet. He was on your tail. You guys didn't really realize it. You were kind of in a rush. But he could see you guys getting towards the inn. And as he's rounding a corner, that's when you guys hear a thunderous boom go off. You're not quite sure what it was, but it did sound like thunder. Mercer and Biz would have known what it was, considering they were only like 30-ish feet from the epicenter of that whole spiel. So we are actually going to start with Carrick.
All right. As soon as the boom goes off, I do a 180 and start running back in the other direction. And let's say when I get like
When you say the other,
halfway back there,
when you say the other direction, do you mean
turn,
like
turn around and head back where I was, back to the town square, towards the boom.
in the same path you took, or are you just beelining it straight for the town square?
Beeline, full speed, double movement if I have to.
Okay.
And
I would assume so.
and
You're
when I
sprinting.
get halfway, I'm gonna ready an Eldritch Blast.
Oh.
Okay.
Just have it going in my hands.
Okay. All right. So you instantly hear this boom and stop for like maybe half a second, and you know something is wrong because, I mean, no perception check needed. You just instantly turn and see bodies everywhere. But from that distance, excuse me, you can't tell if people are moving or not. There's some movement, but from that distance, it is hard to tell if there's anybody seriously injured, critically injured, or dead. But there is people laying on the ground. And so you start beelining it back towards that commotion. Well, then, while you're sprinting, Aaron and Mist, what are you guys doing with Susan?
I'm going towards the inn. I need to get Susan to safety.
Okay. So Aaron wants to keep going towards the inn.
I heard it, and Okay, so since I also have cast Thunderwave before, would I know that that's what just happened?
Probably not. I mean, it just makes a thunderous sound, so it could have been thunder. But, you know what? You can give me an intelligence check. Straight intelligence check.
Here we go.
First roll of the night.
Good one.
Just so it's whatever I roll plus my intelligence modifier.
Correct. Which was for you as a
It's
plus
21.
3. 21. Okay. You hearing that boom and just the way it sounded and knowing that there's not a damn cloud in the sky, you're like, that's of magic origin. Some kind of spell was cast. So it does click into your head. It takes you about 2 seconds to figure that out. That there's not a cloud in the sky. Okay, that was created by a spell probably. That didn't sound like a gunpowder keg going off. That sounded like magic boom.
Okay, I'm gonna turn. I'm gonna keep going towards the end, but I'm gonna call over my shoulder to Miss and say that's magical. Something's going on, but we need to get her to safety before we figure out what it is.
Mist is going to look to Aaron and tell her, all right, you need to get Susan in there. If Tatum shows up, tell him I put the things in that thing he showed me. Just leave it at that, and I'll be back. And with that, he turns and beelines. And just like Carrick, if I have to use like feline agility, whatever, like I'm
Whatever you want.
going.
Yeah,
I'm just using feline agility. Like I'm just
dash
holding
everything.
ass back.
Oh yeah. Okay, so at that speed, you could get back there even quicker than Carrick. You'd probably he's already ahead of you, but you guys would probably arrive around the same time because as you turn and start running, you could see. Actually, you wouldn't have known that Carrick had shapeshifted essentially with Mask of Many Faces. So you see a homeless hobo type person running in the direction of the loud boom at a very fast pace. And you're probably, like if we were in an initiative, you'd probably end up about 40 feet behind him at this point. So just know that you don't know who this person is, and it's just a homeless person running just smack towards that. So we'll go back to Aaron then real quick. So while he starts booking it, you're bringing Susan to the inn.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I want to wait for Tatum to get here.
Okay. So you burst through the door and turn around, shut the door. Don't lock it, because obviously you were waiting on Tatum. You want him just to have easy access back in, but you turn and shut the door. Back against the door. Deep breath, deep breath. Susan looks to you and says, well, that was a bit of a howdy predicament, wasn't it?
You could say that.
I do say that. I need a drink. And you see her little halfling self instantly just start booking it to the back of the bar, and just you barely see the top of her head over the top of the bar, and you hear glass and everything just start tinging, and it just all kinds of just noises, and you hear her pouring drinks, and you just hear, "Would you like one?"
Sure, I'm gonna follow her to the bar.
Okay, so you walk around behind the bar. She hands you a glass of wine, along with her, and she just says, "Cheers, thank you." As she's like sipping it, she just falls down onto her butt behind the bar, and still, without missing a beat or a drop, just chugs it down. It is finished, like lickety split. Professional drinker here.
Wife of a bartender.
I'm gonna take a sip, but because Aaron doesn't really drink, I don't really like it. So, but I'll take another sip and then I'll just put it down.
Fair enough. Okay. And she says, "Well, I appreciate you getting me out of that predicament. I really do.
How did they? What happened? Because the last time. Oh, but do I know that this is her? Do I know that that is Tatum's wife?
You don't, actually. You've never met her before.
Okay. So I just went to
You know
the
what?
end.
Yeah.
You could probably infer though, because
Yeah,
you
'cause
saw Tatum
Yeah.
stick up for her, so, and they were heading towards the bar anyway. So you kind of,
I would say Biz has got a point there. You kind of put two and two together a bit. And then I would say, just to introduce her, because she's never introduced herself to you or you her. So
No.
she just raises up a hand and says, I'm Susan Tatum, wife of the owner of this establishment. Pleased to meet you." She holds her tiny little hand up to you.
I'm Aaron Valnoren. I'm one of the companions that's traveling with the group of people that helped save the town. It's
Hi.
nice to meet you.
Officially, it's nice to meet you too. I've seen you before, but I'm usually pretty busy in the back. I would say,
Yes, you make those fabulous mushrooms. I remember.
Oh, now's not the time for pleasantries, miss. We have a situation.
So how did they? What happened? Because I'm assuming that you did not go willingly with them.
Yes and no. The Lord is a fucking prick, as I've stated before. This is what happened. The meeting was called. I left. Ralph said he would catch up. I'm one of the first to arrive. And the next thing I know, I'm taken into custody for no apparent reason at all. Before I could say diddly squat, I got a gag around my mouth and my hands tied behind my back. And I put up on a pedestal at a platform just in front of everyone. So I was just as confused as everyone else until I heard about what happened. So
Well, I imagine that your husband should be along shortly, assuming that he was not.
I would say you're probably right. He's probably on his way back here now, and it's about that time you hear rustling from the back of the bar, and you start to hear like banging and beating, and all of a sudden you start to hear a loud bang as some kind of door in the back bursts open, and as you turn to see Ralph Tatum, come back from around the corner from the kitchen into the bar, and looks at you, looks down, sees his wife, instantly just picks her up and just gives her the biggest bear hug. "Oi, lass, it's so good to see you, right?" And they just embrace for a moment, and he sets her down, and he comes over and gives you a hug, and just like, I witnessed what you did. I'm forever in your debt.
My hands are at my side.
Fair enough. And he lets you he lets you go. He says, that prick's going to fucking pay. He's going to fucking pay.
Well, yes. Mist told me to tell you that he put the things in the thing that you showed him.
You see him puzzled for a moment, like just maybe it's just the adrenaline going through his system, and he's just like giving you that look like, what the fuck is she talking about? And about 3 seconds later, you just see light bulb. With that, Lass, I think you should return to your friends.
Yeah, I didn't want to leave her here alone, and I figured that
And
you
I
would come in.
appreciate that.
Can you get to safety? Are you two going to be okay?
We'll
by
be just
yourselves?
fine. Believe
Okay.
you me, we'll be just fine.
Okay. I feel like she's gonna because Aaron, like, even though Carrick hasn't been like in the group for very long, Aaron knows how much Carrick is angry, and so she's gonna pause and go, you might need to take up the idea of beating the Lord into a bloody pulp with Carrick because he has already claimed first blood, but I'm sure that the two of you can work something out.
That's a terrible idea. That's a terrible idea. Do not hurt the Lord. His eyes are bulging. He needs to pay. Do not kill him. You can maybe rough him up a bit. Do not kill him.
Okay, I will take that back to my group.
And you just beeline it back out the front door?
Yep, let's go.
Alrighty. So without even thinking, you just nod your head out the door. Don't even bother shutting it. Your adrenaline's going through you. Didn't even bother shutting it. And with that, you're booking it. And now, while all of that was going on, we go back to Mercer and Biz. So, you guys now have taken into custody shortly after the Lord has declared you to be put under arrest, or at least taken into custody, are now being brought towards the manor, surrounded by 7 guards, 4 on Mercer, 3 on Biz, and about 30 feet ahead of you is the Lord just walking at a nice brisk pace, his cane down to his side, fists clenched. You can't see his face, but you can only imagine how just the frustration that must be going through this man's face as that whole dog and pony show he was trying to put on got ruined by who knows. He doesn't know. All of a sudden, there's a riot of sorts. So you guys get about halfway or so, maybe 2/3 of the way to the manor, and Biz, one of the guards, like kneels down, like bows his head just slightly as to get a little bit closer to you, and says to you, Miss, do you recognize me? And you do recognize him. Do you look up? Like, do you look up just to acknowledge him, or are you just looking forward? Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, no, I'm not going to acknowledge. Well, I guess I'll look at him and make sure that like I know who he is.
Okay, well you do
do
recognize him. He is the guard who was supposed to get all of the affairs in order, meaning the cart, the horse, and everything for Sydney's burial. So you do recognize this guard as he has recognized you. Miss, just let me say this. And he's whispering this to you as to not arouse suspicion. Let me say this to you. I bid you no ill will. You've done no harm and wrong to the townsfolk. And us guard all know that. but we are under orders. To disobey is a death sentence. Just take in mind, I do not know why I do not know why the actions that happened today went the way they did, but I hope you guys have a dang good reason for maybe if he's let me restate that. If what the Lord has claimed is true, I hope you have a good reason why you done what you did. And he just picks his head back up and just keeps on walking, and while holding your shoulder and escorting you. And back to Carrick, you get to, still disguised, get to the mass array of bodies that are now, well, I can't say bodies. I mean, nobody actually died from what you can see. There's some people standing up, still getting like brushing the dirt off them, a little bit of blood here and there, but you don't see any deaths. It doesn't look like. What do you wish to do?
So all I see are scattered bodies. I don't see.
You see people
my
getting to their
compatriots.
feet. Yeah, you see you getting to people getting to their feet. You do not see any of your companions. You see.
So no companions, no lord. I just see townspeople.
That's all. That's all you can see at the moment.
All right, then I will help where I can.
Okay, so
and
you
try and
you
go to like someone who's kind of just sitting there dazed and be like, "What in the hell happened here?"
And you approach a older gentleman, and he just says, "Oh, the Lord has gone mad. He did some sort of spell." He's just like rubbing his head, just look a big knot, big bruise. Not sure what caused that. Probably him bumping into something else, maybe hitting the ground a little too hard. But either way, he's got a big bruise on top of his head. Not quite sure why he did it, but the Lord has gone mad. He lost his temper.
I knew that fucker was up to something.
I'm not quite sure what's going on myself. It's and you see him like trying to shake it off because my bloody head. He says, I'm not quite sure why things went the way they went with this. And you see him just start to like nod for a second, like, it's like the pain. And he's saying this to you, another compatriot comes over and says, a younger gentleman, he says, probably, I don't know, 18, 19 years old. Grandfather. And you see him pick him up, and pick up the older gentleman. He says, "Thank you, Mr. Carrick." You never knew this guy's man, but he knew who you were. He says, "Thank you, Mr. Carrick." And he puts his hand on his shoulder. He goes, "Thank you for helping my grandfather out. I'll take it from here."
No worry.
Are you still the
where you
hobo?
can.
Oh, that's right. You are the hobo.
Yes.
Shit, never
Yes,
mind.
I am.
My bad. Okay. He wouldn't recognize you. I forgot you were the hobo. Okay. So he says, "Thank you, kind stranger." He says, I appreciate you helping us out. But if you don't mind, I got it from here." And he like picks his grandfather up and starts shimmying away.
All right. Then I will, I guess, look around, try and figure out what other things happened and where they all went.
Before that, it's about that time Mist shows up because he wasn't far behind you. So Mist now shows up. What are you doing, Mist? You see bodies again everywhere. You see people helping other people up. It doesn't really seem like a lot of corpses, obviously. It just seems like people that are like beaten and broken, maybe a little bloodied, but doesn't seem like any deaths per se. Just a lot of injuries.
Fuck the pile of bodies still rushing towards the manor. Because at this point, if he doesn't see Biz and Mercer, he doesn't see the Lord, but he knows that the Lord had taken Susan, who he knows is innocent in everything. he might not put 2 and 2 together that the lore took Biz and Mercer, but after what he's found, in his mind, it's he's up to something. Where the fuck is he? If I follow him, and if I can get to him, I can figure out more.
Okay.
So he's still like he'll probably blow past the old hobo guy, and as he blew past him, he's just gonna be like on your right, and just keep going.
Okay, and it's about that time, as that conversation has now ended with you and the older gentleman, Carrick, that you see the back of Mist just whoosh right past you. I mean, just like easily make an acrobatics check for me, Mist.
That's a 10 total.
I would say you jump and you actually clear a whole bunch of people that are still kind of maybe laying on the ground a little bit and perch right on top of the fountain in the middle of town, and you stop for a second looking like a superhero from the backside that Carrick sees, and you get your bearings for a sec. I was like, oh yeah, that's the path I need to take, and just start to hop back down and just beelining it back, and it's just gone. So then we'll go back to Carrick. With you seeing that, what are you doing?
I give a little chuckle of approval and follow.
Okay, so you start following behind Mist as best you
Yeah.
can, because he's a lot faster than you.
Yeah.
Being tabaxi and all.
Mhm.
So you guys start beelining it towards the manor. We will go back to Aaron then. Aaron, you rush out the front door, and I would say by the time you have the fountain in sight, you no longer see Mist. You just see a couple people standing up. You're still probably about 100, 120 feet away from you. I mean, you just rounded a corner and just got line of sight on it, so you no longer see Mist. Obviously, he got way ahead of you, and yeah, you would just see a sea of just people essentially, just helping each other out and everything, and you just start booking it towards town square. You get to about 60 feet away from town square, and you see an older gentleman who, or a homeless looking gentleman who probably doesn't look like he's eaten in a very long time, start sprinting. Like he's gone, because you were slowing down to catch your breath just for a second, and as you look up, you just see some kind of conversation that was going on between an old man, a younger man, and then a homeless looking person, and the homeless person just gives him a nod and just boom, is gone. Okay, just running full tilt sprint. What do you do with that? Like, he's full tilt sprint towards the manor.
I'm gonna look around just quickly. I don't see anybody that is familiar to me.
Give me a perception check.
16.
16. Anybody that looks familiar? Now, are you looking mainly in the crowd, or are you looking like kind of around? Like, where exactly are you like looking for this perception check? Are you just kind of like checking out the crowd to see if you recognize anybody?
Yeah, because I need to know what's going on, and I don't see Mist, I don't see Mercer or Biz, and something strange happened with that homeless man who should not be able to run as fast as he is running.
Got it.
So I need to find someone who I'm pretty sure I can trust to ask what just happened.
I'm trying to think who you met in the town. You haven't really met a lot of people in town.
Question for
No,
DM.
no.
Go ahead.
In all of this,
Yeah.
where the fuck is Elise? Or Alyssa, whatever her name is.
Alyssa?
Ooh.
Who knows? Who
Is she
knows?
in the crowd?
Who knows? You do not see her in the crowd. I hate to say it, you haven't really met a lot of people in town. So,
Yeah.
no, you wouldn't recognize anybody. There's nobody in here you'd recognize. Maybe a couple of patrons before, just in passing, but never really introduced yourselves, or vice versa, them to you. But maybe a couple
Okay.
patrons from the bar you might have seen before.
Okay. I'm gonna walk up to one of them and what happened?
Okay. You see an older halfling man you'd happen to see in the bar before, and you approach him and ask what happened here, and he looks up to you, and his shirt's just torn in half, like half of a sleeve is missing, and it looks like he literally went through like a mosh pit or some kind of combat. I mean, he went through it, and being the smaller person, he was probably stepped on a couple times, but he seems, I mean, he's all right. He's standing. So
Okay.
as you ask him this, he's like, I recognize you from the bar. You're one of the new folk. Says, what?
Yes, sir.
I'm not quite sure what happened. There was some kind of riot, and then all of a sudden, the Lord lost his mind. For lack of a better term, he lost his mind. He sent out some sort of shockwave and blasted us all to Kingdom Come. Knocked us all on our asses. And then he took two folk, one gnomish girl, I think it was your companion, along with a gray-skinned, blonde-haired man, who I think I've seen him with you before. They were put in shackles and escorted back towards the manor a few minutes ago.
Oh, okay. Can I just do a general check and make sure he's not bleeding and there's nothing I can do to help heal him?
Oh, he's bleeding. I mean, he's got some busts on him, or like a couple open wounds. But as far as you can give me a medicine check, you can see if give me a medicine check.
16.
16. You give him a little once over as he's telling you this. You see that he'll probably be okay. Like a couple bumps and bruises, but he'll probably be okay.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna like brush the dust off of his shoulders, say thank you very much, and then go towards the man.
Fair enough. Okay, so you are the last to head towards the manor. Mist is way ahead. Hobo Carrick is in pursuit as well. Now, Mercer and Biz, you have now been escorted to the front door of the manor, and the Lord has Tornellus. I totally drew a blank on his name for a second. Lord Tornellus has opened the door and just walked straight in, and just left the door open. And you guys were, like I said, only like 15, 20 feet behind maybe at this point, and you're being escorted into the main lobby area of, or the entryway, I should say, of his manor. And he's walking up the steps. You guys hear the door shut behind you and a couple locks. You see him start walking up the stairs and stop as you guys are brought to the base of the stairs by the town's guard. And he's just very stoic, like a statue now, standing still clutching horizontally his staff, both fists just curled up as if he would love to just hit something at this point. But he seems to relax as you audibly hear a He turns around, looks down to both of you, literally and figuratively looks down to both of you, and just says, I know that both of you ruffians had something to do with the events that happened today with the riot, and I also know that both of you had something to do with the events of last night. This will be your one and only chance to admit guilt. And he's looking at you back and forth as he's saying all of this. Both of you are just being very quiet.
We're gagged. What can we say?
Well, you try and mumble something. Okay, fair enough.
Just-
That's a fair point. Okay, so the guards ungag you. Both of you are now ungagged as he's saying this. Honestly, I forgot you were gagged. I know you guys were bound. I forgot about the gag. Okay, so both you guys are ungagged, but hands are still tied behind your back.
Just say, I have no idea who started the riot. The only time I've ever been in your mansion is when we came here, and we knocked on the door and we got let in to meet you yesterday after the Hellhound attack. And the only time I was there for the fire was when we went there with a guard to help put the fire out.
Okay.
Biz, you're muted.
Well, that's
There we go.
better.
Now I can hear you.
So Biz is gonna say, I think we deserve a fair investigation of our innocence. You can
feel
make all the
you're
claims you like.
You feel you're innocent on what grounds?
On what grounds you have no proof? If we have anything to do with anything.
My word is proof enough. I run this town. I run this region. My word is law.
And you don't answer to anyone? If
We all
word
have
got out that innocent people were locked up, you wouldn't have any issue with that?
These things happen. Someone must take the fall. Someone must be made an example of. And he's looking
I'm
back
all
at both
for
of you.
somebody taking the fall. I am very for people keeping the keeping to the law. But if you want to punish someone, we should find the person who started the riot. I would gladly help you. I have no idea who did it. The moment the riot started, I backed out of it because I didn't want to be in the middle of the riot. Out of the riot. On the edge.
Riot aside.
This is like,
Right? Riot
didn't do anything.
aside, what say you on the actions of last night?
Or
You broke up. Say that again.
breaking the fire or the breaking and entering? Didn't you say somebody broke into your house? Or was it an attack? I don't remember
Someone
what he said.
broke. Someone. He said. Someone
Or his
broke.
board.
Someone broke in to his mansion. He'll even just say that because someone broke in and took some very important things. What say you to that? Are you innocent or guilty?
Innocent. I didn't break in at all.
Do you have
and Biz
knowledge
both.
of who may have done it?
No.
And what say you, little one? As he turns to look at
I
Biz.
don't need to prove anything. You don't have any proof that I was involved in anything, and if your word is law, then it doesn't matter what I say. So you're going to make up your mind anyway.
Mercer, give me a deception check with disadvantage.
Mm.
I'm going to
'Cause-
use inspiration to counteract that then.
All right, then. Gives you a flat roll.
Come on. You got it.
God. Heart rate's pounding. Okay, that's 13 plus 5 for my charisma. 18?
Look at you with that freaking charismatic,
charisma.
you charismatic
Oh,
mug.
God.
Oh, God.
Yep, made my first roll of the evening. Okay. 18, huh? He just gives you a very... He's shooting you daggers with his eyes right now. That's the best way to describe it. You're not quite sure if he believes what you have said. But he says, well, I guess may have to do this the hard way. Lock them up. And you guys are just drug away into looks like some kind of storage room, as this place isn't really made for, like, it doesn't really have a jail per se. They usually just would probably end up throwing somebody in a room and just lock the door kind of thing. So you guys are drug away into a back room, no lights, and kicked in, and doors slam shut, and you just hear as the door is being bolted shut. It's about that time, missed, because you were way ahead. You are now approaching at high speed the manor, and you see no one around. You see a blank canvas of a manor, essentially. There is no candles lit because it's daytime, and no guards. You see no one. Doors shut.
While he's doing that, can I roll to break my bounds?
We'll come back to that.
Okay.
Go ahead, Mist.
All right, so seeing no one, having none of the rest of the group nearby, I am going to stop just outside of the walls to the manor. Kind of post it up.
The manor doesn't have any walls. It just has
I have like that outside walls, like
it has natural walls. It's shrubbery. You know what I mean? It's just bushes around it. This place wasn't built for like defenses, that kind of thing. It's just a manor. It's not necessarily a fort. It just has a nice
so it's sort of like a governor's house or something.
Exactly.
Like a governor's mansion.
Exactly. It looks like the White House,
Okay.
like that kind of thing. You know what I mean? There's no really walls. I mean, there's a fence around the White House, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. Okay.
More of a governor's mansion.
Minimal defenses around the
Exactly.
White House.
Yeah, minimal defenses around the White House. There's no missiles. Anyways, so yeah, you're running right up the path, and you have your trees on your left and your right, and you're approaching, and you get about parallel with the end of the different shrubs and bushes, as like a more natural looking wall, I guess you could say, about 2 feet high of shrubs. Where are you going from there?
Oh, fuck. All right. So there's no guards on the outside.
As you stop,
door
give
shut.
me a perception check. We'll go with that. Give me a
All right.
perception check as you now stopped and started looking around.
16.
16. Now that you've stopped to catch your breath, and you're starting to look around, you're just like, okay, I see no guards. There's no open windows. The door's shut, probably locked. I need to get in here. And you're just thinking out loud a little bit, and it's about that time you hear, and you turn around to see this homeless man looking dude coming up on you fast. What do you do?
Little out of breath.
He's about 60 feet from you. What do you do?
Longbow, arrow knocked, like turned immediately,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
and just like pointing like dead at him. It's just like, who are you? Why are you following me?
Carrick, what does your character do at this point? You are you still running directly at him, or are you stopping? What are you doing?
I'm a little gassed, so by the time I see the arrow pointed at me, I start panting heavily,
So you
and
see
my form
he starts
reverts.
Okay. So you see him slow down and just stop about 40 feet from you, and you see the transformation back into Carrick.
I think I have an idea. Just give me a minute.
So at that point, Mist will put the arrow back, sling the bow back over his shoulder,
Mhm.
and walk up to Carrick. And he'll be like, I don't know what the fuck's going on. I'm going to assume Biz and Mercer are somewhere in that mansion. What I'm also going to tell you
Yeah.
is probably going to piss you off. I took a dagger. Now, it's not just any dagger. I had Aaron look at it last night. It's some sort of blood pact dagger. And I'm going to assume the Lord's blood is on one side. There's ways for us to figure out whose blood is on the other side of that blade. I don't think we have them at our disposal at this moment. But the Lord is definitely not working alone. And as much as I want to run in there right now and just put an arrow through everybody's skull, for the safety of Biz and Mercer, I think we need to figure out our plan. I know someone who can help us. And then Mist will kind of look up and like close one eye and kind of cock his head. I don't know if he's still in town, especially what happened this morning. But if he is, well, and then he remembers there's Hugo, and he remembers the talk with Tatum. There's two people. One of them is in that mansion.
Well, I don't give two shits about no fucking dagger. And I think right now, unless that person you're thinking of is near, Hugo's our best bet.
Hugo probably is our best bet right now.
It's about that time.
And
It's about that time that Aaron starts to catch up. And Aaron, you see Carrick and Mist having some sort of conversation in the middle of the road about 60 feet from the front door of the mansion. And you start to approach Mist and Carrick. You look to your right and left and see Aaron approaching very fast speed, and she's a little out of breath. That was a hell of a sprint. And she stops near you guys.
Keep on going with what you were saying, because
No, I just stopped you. No, I just stopped you, Aaron. I'm just saying Aaron has now stopped. So go ahead. All three of you are now together.
Okay. Well, Erin's gonna obviously she saw that Mist and Carrick were talking, so she's gonna sit here, or she's gonna stand there and try and figure out what's going
As she's catching her breath.
Mist is gonna kind of look around one more time, and he's gonna kind of motion to like where the tree line is for the two of them to follow, so that way they're out of, like, they're not in the middle of the goddamn road.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So you guys head off to the shrubbery where Mercer and Biz were originally looking out, because you know that the shrubs there are a little bit taller, the grass is a little bit taller, so it might provide, the foliage might provide a little better cover from any prying eyes.
Yeah, so Mist is gonna kneel down. He's just gonna look up at Carrick until he kneels down, or even if he doesn't. You say you don't give two shits about a dagger?
Mm-hmm.
Seeing as how you're pissed off about old holy guy that got discombobulated, I'm
That
going
is
to
true,
assume.
but I don't care about no pointy thing. I just want to kill the fucker.
on.
Now-
Hey, I talked to Tatum, and he says that we're not allowed to kill the Lord.
No promises.
Yeah, he said that the Lord needs to be punished, but that we can't kill him, and he had really scary eyes. And so I have relayed that message, and from what I know of Mr. Tatum, I don't think we want to cross him, but you are your own person. But I'm just telling you that he told me that, and he was just very scary. So I would end whatever it is. So yeah, Tatum says don't kill him. That is my message that I had to relay.
Mist looks to Aaron, shakes his head, looks back at Carrick. I'm going to say this nice and slow so that you understand. It is a blood pact dagger, which means with you getting as mad as you got over the letter I read, you're probably going to be mad that he's entered into a blood pact with some being or person we don't fucking know. So, right, kill him, stab him, do whatever the fuck you want. I really don't care. But there is something more at play than any of us have a clue about. So maybe we can bring down the murder just a scotch and start thinking about how we're going to get Pebble and Mercer out of this situation.
Her name is
She's a tiny rock gnome. Her name's Pebble.
Nice.
This is new.
So if you have any actual suggestions instead of run up to the Lord and put the pointy end of something into him, I'm all for it. If your only suggestion is pointy thing into the Lord, we have a problem.
First off, don't ever talk to me like I'm stupid just because I talk like this, alright? Second, I hear you. And I have an idea. And I start to transform into one of the guards.
Okay, so you see as he closes his eyes for a moment, wipes his face, and instantly transforms into one of the guards that he has seen in town. The whole outfit, the whole attire, everything.
Mist just looks at Carrick and is like, you might hear me, but are you listening? Like, you hear the word of God, but do you listen to the word of God? There's a difference between the two. And I'm talking like this because your whole motif right now has been kill the Lord, kill the Lord, kill the Lord. That's not what we need right now. But hey, good job with the magic act. Now, what are we going to do?
Aaron's gonna shoot Mist a real nasty look, turn to Carrick and go, "What's your plan?"
Well, I was going to escort the two of you to the Lord and get us inside, first off.
Okay, what's the next step? Because I don't like the idea of being shackled.
I honestly hadn't gotten that far. I was just getting us inside.
Okay.
Mist is going to nod, bite his tongue, collect his thoughts. How about looking how you look, you go find Hugo? Because if that's our only play right now, we need to know where the fuck he is and what might be going on. And honestly, having talked to Tatum, Hugo is the end we need. And there's more to Hugo than what probably meets the eye.
I just grunt a little, stand up, walk out of the bushes, and head to the door of the house. Still looking like one of the guards.
Okay, so you start heading towards the mansion and approach the front door. What do you do?
I give a little knock.
Okay, so you give it a little knock. and there's no response. You don't hear anything quite yet. A few moments pass. Yeah, who's there?
I have news from the town for the Lord.
Yeah, who's this?
I don't have a name. Oh, I have no idea.
Are you daft or deaf?
Say again.
God damn it. And you start hearing and the door opens up. Yeah, and he looks surprised as you look identical to this guard as one of the guards you have seen in town. You copied
I just give a
this
look.
guard.
I give a little oh shit under my breath.
Yeah, oh shit. He says,
Ask him
what
his
the
name
fuck is this? What do you do?
Is there anybody else behind him?
Give me a perception check. Erin's over there losing
16.
her shit. Erin is losing her shit right now. I'm sorry, what was your roll?
16.
16. You do not see any other guards or any other person. Quickly,
Fuck
man.
it, I'm just gonna try and take him out. I'm gonna try and take him out.
Okay, how are you taking him out? What are you gonna do?
Don't kill him.
Punch to the face, try to knock him out as hard as I can.
All right, roll me an attack roll.
At least somebody's getting to punch something.
That's right. This is
In
true.
a while.
It has.
Shoot. I don't think an 11 does it, does it?
Unfortunately, no. As you go to take a swing, he sees it coming and blocks it out of the way just a little bit, like swats your hand out of the way, and he is now going to retaliate as he unsheathes a short sword. Does a 13 hit?
Nope.
Okay, so you see a short sword be brandished, and you dodge out of the way as he tries to stab you and says, I need some assistance here!
Do I hear that?
Oh, he audibly yelled that very loudly. You heard that.
All right. Mista's gonna move to where he has a better vantage point of Carrick and the guard who
They're fighting
now
in a
can probably
doorway
see.
right now. Yeah, they're fighting like in a doorway. It's tight, close quarters right now.
I mean, I'm a damn good shot.
This is true.
And you don't like Carrick.
I
mean,
don't
I'm
not
sorry.
not like Carrick, but I'm not gonna try to put an arrow in his back right now. Do I see the other guard, or do I just see like Carrick like moving in a doorway? Like
you can see
someone?
you can see the other guard facing you. Carrick has
Like,
his back to you.
Like, is it a single door, or is it like one of those like double door, like how most kind of like mansions are?
It's a double door, but only one door is open right
It's
now.
open.
Right.
Okay. Fuck me. Yeah, you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna let one fly, and I'm gonna aim for who Carrick is fighting.
Sorry, Carrick.
Okay, go for it. Give me an attack roll.
Disadvantage?
No, he has an AC
Okay.
bonus because he's pretty covered. I mean, like his AC is gonna be a little higher than normal. But go ahead and make your attack roll.
23.
Oh yeah, that'll fucking hit.
Okay. So then what I'm going to do is I will use trip attack
Okay.
with that. So he needs to beat a strength check of 14 to not be knocked prone.
Yeah, he succeeds. He's good.
Okay, then I'll just go ahead and roll damage then.
Go for it. Roll a natural 18.
So that's gonna be 16 damage total.
All right. You see, you draw back your arrow, and you wait for the opening as Carrick and him are now wrestling around a bit, and as Carrick kind of ducks down a little bit to maybe go for like who knows, like an elbow to the face, you take that opportunity and right through the eye socket of the guard, and he just topples over onto his back.
Mist just, if Carrick looks back, Mist just kind of puts the bow back over his shoulder and kind of gives him a salute, while also, as not audibly as possible to alert anyone else, is just gonna go, remove the arrow and get rid of the evidence.
Okay, Aaron's just kind of hanging back, watching all of this transpire. What are you doing, Carrick?
Carrick hears, kind of hears that,
Right.
goes to himself, no shit, drags the body to a bush close by and pulls out the arrow.
Fair enough. Okay, so you toss the body into the bush. And
then I'll go back to the door and take his place.
fair enough. So you walk back inside. What do? You're now in the entryway of the manor, and you have the double doors behind you now as you are now a couple feet in. The one door behind you on your left side is open, and the two double doors in front of you are shut.
Do I hear anything?
This actually might be a good time. Everybody load up 3D Virtual Tabletop so we can kind of play this out. I will
Do
reset.
me and Biz get a turn soon?
Yep, we'll get to that. I'm going to send the link in case everybody kind of forgot where we're going. I'll paste the exact game link. There you go.
Come on.
Okay. Get anything set up on my end. Looks like we're missing one more person. Nope. Who's not in yet?
I'm not in yet. I'm working on it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm having issues.
Ash, you just left the game.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was. There it goes. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, waiting on our last player. Probably should have posted that link earlier. I wasn't quite sure how the actions were going to transpire today. So let's see here.
Elevator music.
For now, waiting on. While he's getting loaded in, we will let Mercer and Biz have y'all's turns. You are now locked in a room that is completely pitch black, but luckily both of you have dark vision. So what you see is, let's see, which room are you guys in? You guys are there. Okay. Just double checking on that. You guys are both. Yes. Okay. You guys are locked in a room that has a few barrels stacked against. Let me start with this. It's a square, rectangular type room that has windows, but the curtains seem to be drawn. And so hence it's really dark in here. And you see a couple barrels off into the bottom corner, an old table, a couple like maybe extra chairs, and as you look, as you're like turning around, just getting your bearings, you see two doors, one to the left and one to the right, about 10 feet from that one, and that's what you see.
Okay. I'm going to try and break my bonds.
All right, give me a strength check.
And I just want to look out to see if there are guards down the hallway, if I can see through bars, just if there's anything to just.
Well, no,
look.
you can't see anything outside of this room. The doors are shut.
So there's no bars on the door at all?
No.
There's no way to see out the door?
No.
Okay, then I open the curtains on the window and look
Your
out
hands
there
are tied
real
behind your
quick.
back.
I pull the curtains with my teeth open.
Okay, so as you pull the teeth, or pull with your teeth away, you now notice that there is bars on this window, barred from the inside, and the glass seems to be tinted a bit, so it makes it a little bit darker in this room. And you feel you can see outside a bit. You can see trees, tall grasses, stuff like that. And you can actually give me a perception check with disadvantage, just because the windows are tinted a little bit. Perception check with disadvantage to be able to look out the window right now, because it's kind of hard. You got a curtain in your teeth, and you're kind of looking around. So give me disadvantage perception.
That's a 6.
Yeah, you don't see anything other than like hazy window and tall grasses.
And that was a 9 on the strength check for my.
You pull and no give.
Okay.
Can I try and go to Brandon and take his off?
Who's Brandon?
Excuse me, Mercer.
There you go.
Hang on.
So you go over to Mercer.
Mhm.
As you see him trying to look out the tinted glass window. What do you do?
I'm gonna. Are they like ropes or?
You guys, yeah, it's
bonds,
ropes,
or
but you guys were wrapped
can I
up
untie
pretty
them?
tight. They were just ropes. Actually, no. I'm sorry. No, you guys are actually shackled. I apologize. You two were actually shackled with chains. It was Susan that was just tied up with rope, because that was kind of like just done like really quickly kind of thing. You guys were actually like shackled behind your back.
Okay, well, the strength check probably would.
Because I've seen Hugo and it was a slight conversation, but I saw him for a bit and I know how he looks and I know he's in the manor, would you say that I'm familiar with him? That's the message to
Sure.
him. It says,
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. So it just because I didn't see him when we were talking to the Lord, so I don't even know if he's aware we're here. So I just want to shoot a message. and say, "Hey, it's Mercer. Me and Biz got locked up in the jail. We found evidence of the Lord's wrongdoings. Can you help us?"
You point your finger towards a creature within range and whisper a message.
Also says right below, you can cast this through solid objects if you are familiar with the target and know it
Which
is beyond
direction
the
are
target.
you pointing? And your arms are behind your back, as these are verbal, somatic, and material components required to cast this spell with your hands tied behind your back. So you need to be able to say the message, the incantations, essentially. You need to be able to physically cast it with your hands, moving it in the correct positioning. And you need to be able to have the short piece of copper wire needed to cast the spell. As your hands are tied behind your back, you can't really reach your component pouch very easily. So you would not be able to cast the spell at this very moment.
Okay. There's two doors. One, it's in the same room facing the same direction, or does one door face a different wall?
They're on the same wall. They're on the same wall. It's 180 degrees away from the windows. So the opposite. If you're looking at the windows, 180 degrees, turn around, and there's two doors
Okay.
along the
When
wall.
we came in?
Yeah, the one you came in was on the door on the right, and there's a door on your left.
I just want to look behind everything, all the barrels and everything, trying to check to see if there's anything that could be of use, maybe to help with the locks. If we can attempt to pick a lock, if there's any loose piece of material that would work for that.
All right, you can give me a perception check with that as well.
Much better. 17 plus 2, 19.
Okay. You don't really find anything at first. You're kind of just like looking around, not saying anything to Biz as she's kind of staring at you, like, wait, what is he doing? And you're looking around, and you see a couple crates, a couple barrels, and you're looking around, looking behind things. You're not finding anything, unfortunately. So you're just like, what could I possibly use? And you look at a crate shoved into a corner. You see a couple loose nails on the top of the board that you may be able to pull out. That those might be useful to you a bit. They're still wedged into the wood, but with a good enough strength check, you might be able to pull those nails out of the wood.
Okay. Seeing that and knowing that Biz is stronger than me, I'll be like, I'll whisper it because I don't know if there's guards outside the door, and I just don't want them to hear what we're doing. And I'll
Okay.
just be like, Biz, come over here. Pull these nails out, please.
What are we gonna do with nails?
I don't know. I've seen Mist attempt to pick locks. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm. Well, he
Alright,
succeeded.
alright.
Mine will be an attempt.
I guess all we've got are nails now. Okay then. And then
Okay.
she's gonna try.
She's gonna go over there. All right. You hop up on top of because you can't quite reach from being a shorter stature.
I'll
You
help
can't
her
quite.
get up to where she needs to be.
Okay, so you hop up on. You get on top of the crate, and you sit down. So your hands are now level with your backside, and you can kind of feel around. It's like, oh, there's the nails. Okay, so you're pretty strong. I'm not gonna make you a strength check for that. You can just like,
It was a 21.
oh shit. Okay, yeah, with ease, just and that nail comes right out of that wood, no problem. So you now have about a 2-inch long iron nail in your hand.
Alright, smart one. What are we doing with this? I don't even know if I could reach the door handle with my hands behind my back.
I
So
was
you take
more
me.
concerned about our shackles.
Oh well.
I'd like try and reach behind because my hands are behind my back, so I'm like
Yep.
trying to reach, and I ask her to hand me the nail and turn around because it'd be easier if I can do it for her because I can't see my own hands. But maybe if I like look really far, I can get a better vision on hers.
So you're gonna try and pick her locks.
Yeah.
Okay, so she's still sitting on the crate, and you turn around and feel around and touch her hands. And it's like, oh, there's the nail. So you take it from her hands and you look over your shoulder and you can see one of the locks on her shackles, and you attempt to pick the lock. That's what you're going.
I rolled,
You're yeah. Okay, so give me a regular dexterity check.
Okay.
Yeah, just give me a regular dexterity check with disadvantage.
Okay. That's not. The first one was not great. Oh God. Nat 1 on the second one.
Alrighty. So with that, you're like
Ooh.
feeling around in there, and you poke Biz by mistake as you're trying to put the nail in the lock,
Keep it together.
Sorry.
and so you're like, oh, I'm sorry, and you go back to try and pick the lock again, and you're fiddling around for about 10 seconds, and you feel like, this is good. I hope it's good. I'm starting to feel a little bit of give, and the nail snaps inside of the lock. So you're not quite sure what that means.
Did it do it? Did it do it? No, it's not. What did you do? There's a. Did you break it?
I
Am
didn't
I stuck like this?
possibly.
Whatever.
Give
Give me the other nail. Give me. I'll try and get yours out, and then maybe you can break mine off. Come here. And I'm gonna.
You only pulled out one nail.
Oh, I thought there was a bunch of them.
Mm-mm. You
Oh,
just found
damn,
one.
never
You
mind
found
then.
yeah. You found one loose nail is what he saw sticking out of the top of one of the crates.
So
Well,
DM question.
Uh-huh.
Or when it says components, verbal, which I can speak right now, so that's fine. What's
Mhm.
somatic? Like, what does that entail?
Hand gestures, being able to move and
Oh.
weave your hands. You ever seen Doctor Strange?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to be able to do stuff like that.
So it's big hand gestures. There isn't a
It
little
can be.
hand gesture thing.
There can be, but at the same time, you're used to doing it in front of you, being able to see your hands and what the positions you need to move them in. Like, we're going straight Naruto here with doing all the hand weaving, and it's easier to do that, but you still don't have the component, as you can't reach your component pouch.
Well, there are some spells that don't. I was looking at trying to break it with like a firebolt or a ray of frost. It's a really dumb idea, but I don't know if
you
I'd be able to
can-
do the hand gesture because there's no components to that. It's just a verbal saying and a hand gesture.
You can. I'll let you attempt if you want to try and cast a firebolt or cast a spell. You can. I'll let you attempt it. The reason why I was kind of like hesitant with this one is because you didn't have the component.
Yeah, and I get that. I'm not gonna try to do that because that
Okay.
makes sense. I can't reach anything. I'm gonna tell Biz to like get down and like stretch her hands as far as she can behind her and like tilt them so that it's at an angle away from her body. And I want to kind of try and position myself, and I want to cast Ray of Frost in the middle of her shackles and try and freeze them so that it's easier to break.
Let me try this. I'm curious. That's not a bad idea. I would say
About the last
go ahead.
idea I
Roll
got.
roll me a ranged spell attack with disadvantage. Again, because your hands are bound and it's a little harder to get. You feel like you close your eyes and you're just like, okay, let me see.
Okay.
Okay, the hand gestures go like
does
this.
it come from his hands or?
Yeah.
Where does it come from?
Okay. I got a natural 20 on
Because-
the first one, but it's disadvantage, so
Yep.
I gotta roll again.
Yep.
That's a
And you're doing this
15, so plus 7,
Behind you,
22.
yeah.
22 with disadvantage. Rolls a 22.
A nat 20 and then a 15.
Oh
How's
god,
good?
you got lucky on this, dude. Good stuff. Well, with that, roll me some damage. Roll 1d8 for your cold damage.
Okay.
Mercer, whatever you're doing back there, please don't kill me in the
4.
process.
4 damage.
4. You start to say the verbal, and Biz hears this, and all of a sudden Biz's back gets a little cold. You can start to feel the air temperature change a bit, like ice cubes just got poured down your back. And you were smart enough to realize, okay, I might miss her. So you got really close to the chains and let it off. It hits, and you hear as you have now not necessarily frozen, but you feel pretty confident you've weakened her chains.
Did I hit you? You feel anything? Try your chains. I'm pretty sure I hit that.
Well, it's very cold. But I mean, it's got a nail in there, and now they're cold. I don't see much progress here. Can we?
Rip them apart.
I tried that.
You can
But I
try.
guess- I
You can
guess
try
they're
again
cold
now.
now.
I'll let you try again. Give me a strength check.
Alrighty, here we go again. Third strength check in a row. That's gonna be a 16.
And you feel, oh, I think it's given. Crack as the chain snaps. You're still locked in. You still have, now you just have like two chains essentially hanging from your wrists now with shackles, but your arms are now free.
Great. I would like to pull out my sword.
Yep, because you were not disarmed. They did not take any of your guys' shit. In the heat of the moment, that was never brought up. So they just threw you in there. So you guys still have all of your gear.
While I see her taking out the sword, I'm just gonna tell her, stop, get into my component pouch, grab out my copper wire real fast. We can try the sword, but trust me, I'm gonna try and tell Hugo what's happening.
Alrighty then. So I get his pouch. Is this what you're looking for?
Yep, you pull
Try and
out.
find the copper wire inside.
Yep, it's easy enough. She digs around for a couple seconds and finds a little piece of copper wire.
Okay, and then with that, I'm gonna resend that the mess, or I'm gonna try. I never sent it in the first place. I'm gonna try and send it now that I have the component.
Okay, which direction are you pointing?
When we were leaving, he described where his room is in the house, so I want to try and point in that direction.
Good job remembering that. Okay, so you point it in that direction, and you let the spell off. What do you say?
I say, Hugo, it's Mercer. We're in the dungeon. The rest of the team's not here. We found evidence. Can you help us?
You hear nothing. You hear nothing. You hear nothing.
Well,
Okay. I'll just say I didn't get a response. You can try with the sword.
Mercer!
Thank you.
Mercer!
Oh. Hold on.
Mercer, is that you?
Then do the thing again to send it back. Yes, it's me. Me and Biz are in the dungeon.
We don't have a dungeon.
In a jail, the guards put us there. There's 2 doors leaving out and a
I know where
curtain
you're
looking
at.
over
I
a
know
view.
where you're at. I'm terribly sorry. It's a bit, yeah. Things have got weird, to say the least here. I know your location. I will do my best to help you in any way I can. I'm very excited to hear that you got at least some sort of evidence against him. But I must go. I hear footsteps, and that's all you hear.
Okay, so I'll say to Biz, Hugo got our message. We can still try with the longsword, but we gotta be prepared. At least somebody knows we're here.
alrighty. Well, turn around. Get
I
down.
hold out my arms as far back as I can, away from my body, for her.
Sit down. Put it on the floor so I can
Oh,
whack
okay.
it.
Yeah, I sit on the floor and I like one of those yoga stretches where I'm just like going as far back and keeping my arms away from myself.
Give me an attack roll, Biz.
Alrighty. That is a
Before you, or actually, go ahead. Never mind. Go ahead.
17.
17. Okay, no, it's easy enough. So roll me damage. Remember this about your sword. I don't know. We kind of both forgot this. I had to look back on the weapon. It does not do it will not do your fire damage until you activate it. You have to touch the 3 stones on the hilt, and then
Okay.
the blade starts to glow that fiery red. So if you wish to add that to it, you'd have to turn it on essentially. Think of it as a flashlight. You got to turn it on and turn it off essentially.
Okay. Yeah, I'm probably not gonna do the fire just for the sake of it. It's a pretty good thing. And I'm gonna use it two-handed, like I
Okay.
do.
Yep. So roll.
That's gonna.
Go ahead.
It could be a 2 damage. No, 3, because I have. Bonus.
Well, remember this. It's your dice roll. When you do damage, what do you do?
Oh, because it was not on there. Plus. Oh, where is it at?
Isn't your strength an 18?
6. Yeah. So it's.
That's a plus 4.
Plus 1 for my sword because it's plus
Correct.
1.
Correct. So 5
so
plus whatever you rolled.
7.
7.
I rolled a 2.
There you go. Okay, so 7 damage. Remember that.
Yep.
So you strike true and cling, and you hit the steel on steel as it makes a loud. That's a very loud clang, and you do not cut through the chain, but you may have weakened it a bit. You feel confident that you've at least weakened it as you see a huge chip come out of one of the links, and with that you hear a voice from somewhere. Oi, what's that noise going on in there? And you start to hear a couple footsteps.
Put your sword away. Put your hands behind your back.
And you see the door that you entered in. The door is now the
Yeah,
door.
I look like I'm tripping. Like that's what I tried to make myself look like. Like I fell and my chain just kind of fell on the ground, and I'm like, sorry.
As he's opening the door, he sees that. Give me a performance check.
Okay. Something I'm good with, hopefully. 12 plus 5, 17.
You charismatic bastard. Okay. All right. So as you're falling down, the guard opens up the door and says, "Well, keep it down in here. You're our prisoners, not to be in here having a jolly good time." And as he slowly shuts the door, he says, like you can audibly hear a little whisper. He goes, "I'm just following orders," and shuts the door. And with that, we are actually going to take our break. So we will be back in a little while, folks. We'll be back in approximately 10 minutes. we are back. Alrighty then. Before we went on the break, Mercer and Biz were trapped in a room, or locked in a room, I should say. And it seems Biz got free of her shackles, and a commotion was heard. A guard entered the room, said, "Keep it down." And as he's shutting the door, you heard an audible whisper saying, "I'm just doing my job." And then click, it shuts the door, and you hear as it's relatched and probably locked once again. With that, we are going back to Carrick. As you are standing, everybody has a tabletop back up?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
Double checking. I'm pulling that up on my end right now. Okay. All right. So, Carrick, you are standing in the doorway.
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing?
You said there was nobody.
You see, nope, not in the
in
little
view.
room. Nope. The doors are shut in front of you, and I'm assuming you shut the door behind you. So you are in that entryway by yourself. Unless you didn't shut the door
Alright,
behind you, it's
now-
up to you.
I was actually gonna wave my compatriots in.
Okay, fair enough. So you wave back towards Mist. I'm assuming Mist probably relays that to Aaron, I would assume, or wherever you guys want to play it. So, Mist, you see Carrick now turn back to you and wave you in, like kind of like a coast is clear kind of thing.
I see him wave me in.
Mm-hmm.
I look to Aaron and I'm kind of put up a hand like, okay, hold. I'll go up to Carrick and I'll just be like, okay, what's the plan? Like, we shouldn't be in here. What happens if we open that door and someone sees us? Because I'm not about to just be put in front of the Lord. So what's the plan here?
I have no fucking idea. If you've got something, speak the fuck up.
This just... And his head is like, 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1. What the hell is wrong with me? And looks to Carrick and goes, I thought the plan was to go find Hugo and let him know what's going on. You look like one of them. I look like someone the Lord probably wants to run a sword through. I can't be caught in here. If you want, I can try to open that door in front of you, and then you can go in, and I will hang back out until you either come back out with information, or we're just going to have to split up and try to find another way in. Because right now, I'm not walking in with a member of the guard. That's just full stop, not happening.
Alright, fine, I'll be back. And I just turn around, leaving Mist in the doorway, and walk through the other double doors.
You shut the door behind you or leave it open?
Honestly, I think I'm a little too frustrated to even think about it.
Fair
so I
enough.
just walk through the doors.
Okay. So you walk through the set of double doors. As you open the doors, here's what you see. Let me see here. You see on the bottom entryway 2 other town guards to your left and to your right. And that's the only people that you see in this room with you. And as you enter, the guards look over to you. Oi, who was that?
Some idiot with news for the Lord. Where's Hugo? I'm gonna go talk to him first. I'm trying to do my best, worst guard impression.
He looks at you and says, "Why do you sound different?"
Woke up not feeling well. Rubbing my throat.
Give me a deception check. I'll give you with advantage because you do look like the other guard. I'll give you advantage on this one. Give me a deception check.
That would be a 12.
All right. Well, heading to town later and get that shit looked at. I don't feel like catching anything. Hugo's in his room.
All right. And I'm assuming I would know where Hugo's room is.
He did describe where everything was. You don't fucking know, but your Carrick would probably remember this.
Right.
You're not dumb by any means. I mean, you do have what? You do have an intelligence of 10. Give me an intelligence check to see if you can recall. Just straight intelligence check to see if you can recall exactly the description he gave you.
Not at the moment. That's a 5.
With that, you're not quite sure which direction to head. So it is up to you which direction you would like to go. You see the guard to your right is the one who spoke up to you, and to his immediate left is a door. You have the stairs heading directly up, and at the top of the stairs you can see a door a little to the left at the top of the stairs. And then behind the guard to your left, you see another door. Those are your 3 options at this point.
Okay, I start hamming up the cough and go.
I'm sorry. There's
you
actually a door top left of this room. You do see another door. So there's technically. Oh shit! You got more than that. Hold on. You have the double doors behind you. The door next to the guard on your right. The door behind the guard on your left. Top left corner, you have a door. Top little to the left, you have another door. And then top right, it's kind of cut off on the image a bit, but there is a door as well top right of the map, as you see in that room. So you technically have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sets of doors to choose from. Or take the stairs up.
I'll do the Would you remind me where his room is again? Hamming up the sickness.
He just gives you like an up and down kind of look. It's like, are you sure you're feeling all right? You know where Hugo's room is. That's all he says to you.
Okay. I guess I'll start walking down the hall.
Well, there's no hall. You can just, if you walk directly ahead of you.
Walking.
Oh, okay. Yeah, move your character
down that way.
where you would like to go. Okay, so you walk up to the top and to the left. Okay, so you start walking that direction, and the guard hollers over at you. I think you really are sick. Hugo's room isn't over there.
Okay, remind me where it is then.
It's fucking over there. And he points directly in front of him at the top right of the map, up for the room you can see.
So I'll move there then.
Okay, so I was at the top right over here.
Ah,
Yeah, that's what I said. You kind of cut off, kind of hard to see, but yeah, over there's a door. And as you open the door, you see this. You see you are now in the kitchen. And as you walk through, you shut the door behind you.
Mm-hmm.
You shut the door behind you. You now see, obviously, the door you just walked through. There is a door to your immediate left of that door. There is a door leading outside that you can see through a little glass window. You can see outside to the north with the map. And then on the south wall, you see 3 different doors.
Well, crap.
It's up to you.
Could I do another intelligence check to see if I can try and remember?
With disadvantage.
Fair enough. Uh, 11.
Okay. It actually does come back to you a bit. You're just like, okay, I remember him saying take a right. So you think it's one of the 3 doors in the south wall. Is the next doorway you need to go
Okay.
through.
Come back. Stupid map. There we go. So over here.
You're taking the middle door?
I'm trying to orient myself
Right.
southward. So you're saying over here.
Yep. So you have, you're at the middle door. We'll just call that door number 2. Is that what you want to pick? You got 3 doors. Door number 1, door number 2, or door number 3. So you want to go in the middle and go door number 2?
Sure.
Okay. So you just open the door?
I'll crack it a little. Take a peek.
Okay, so you crack open the door, and it is unlocked. You open the door a bit, and you hear a voice. Who goes there entering my chambers? And
Quietly as I can.
mm-hmm.
Yui? Is that you?
You have found Hugo Tremblefoot
All right.
in his quarters
I
in the
get in
kitchen.
the room. Get in the room, shut the door, drop my form, and go, oh my god, we're in deep shit here.
I'll fucking say. What kind of fucking? Wow. That's all he just says to you.
Right? Deep shit.
Yeah. Okay. Did you know that your friends are here?
Yeah, we need to get them out ASAP.
Okay. As long as you. Okay. So I don't need to remind you of that. They are here. How to proceed? I was informed that you have evidence against the Lord. Is this correct?
I believe so. I do say it like that. It's just very large question mark because I'm not really sure.
Well, I believe Mist told when you guys were in the bar last evening, you were told that he has evidence in a safe place.
And
Well,
you
he
were
told the
there-
letter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
we read the letter out.
He was
Oh, that's
there
right.
when
Yeah,
the letter-
you were in the room. Remember?
Yeah. Okay. So yeah.
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 also
we-
told you about the dagger.
Right. Yep. Okay.
I
so
don't know about the
you,
dagger, so I'm just thinking letter. But
Yeah, you know
Yeah,
about everything
I'll-
that was found,
Yeah. I'll
or at least the
relay
letter.
that
You
to
know about the
Hugo.
letter at the very least. Okay. Okay. So what exactly do you tell Hugo?
We have a few bits that would be very incriminating.
Oh, that's very good. I myself actually have a few things of my own that may help with the uh justice system, so to speak. Okay. Well then, we'll talk
Good
later
on
on
you,
that.
Hugo.
We'll talk later on that. He gives you a little wink as you say that. Yeah, we'll talk later about that. We need to get your friends out of here now. They are in grave danger. The town
Mhm.
guard obey their lord, but to a degree. They
Mhm.
are citizens of this town. They do know of the good deeds that you all have done. But they are contractually obligated to follow the Lord. Any kind of uh loss of a word. English teacher, help me out here.
They can't go against the will of their lord, so they can't dissent.
There we go. There we go. Any kind, whatever that word was, dissent. Yeah. Any kind of dissent. Yeah, I totally drew a blank.
Contradict is
Yeah, that can be met with death. It's very Lord's law. So they may or may not be able to help us. Time will tell. Events will see. But for now, all we can do is try. So he says, "Are you able to go back to the way you just looked as one of the gods?
Yes.
Could you do that? That'll make things a lot easier."
And you just back to the guard.
Okay, so you wave your hand, shoop, back into the guard. He says, "Oi, that's a very nifty trick you got there." So with that, he says, "Okay." You see him start to visibly shake as the adrenaline's hitting him. "Okay, let's go." And he leads you out, back the way you came,
Mm-hmm.
opening the door. Hugo starts to follow, or you start to follow Hugo through here.
Mm-hmm.
He goes to this guard over here. He says, "There's been a change of plans, good sir. I must take the suspicious ones into custody. The Lord would like to see them." And the guard looks down on Hugo and says, "Mr. Hugo, as much as it would please me to obey you, I am under strict orders to stand guard until his lordship, Cornelius, himself comes to interrogate." And Hugo looks back up to him and says, "I understand that. I am here telling you that the Lord has sent me down here to tell you that we are bringing them to his chambers." And I'm actually going to roll a deception check for Hugo on this.
Please tell me he's secretly a bard.
Okay. Versus the insight check on the town guard.
stupid.
Here's the insight check on the guard.
I knew it. He was
I
dumb.
love that
Damn
dice
it!
that you have.
Yeah.
I do.
Well,
It's,
I
it is
rolled.
my favorite.
I rolled a 12 on that deception check versus a natural 1. So, with that, alrighty then, Mr. Hugo. He goes, I'll stand aside. Says, "I'll let you do your business." He stands aside. Hugo starts unlocking the door and letting light into here reveals that, where you see as you walk in, you follow Carrick. Are you following him in?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you walk in, he shuts the door, and you see a bound or a shackled, I should say, shackled Mercer laying on the ground, still, and because as you had found, Hugo is about the same time the events happened where Mercer fell on the ground. The guard told him to shut up, essentially. So it was just shortly after that. So Mercer is still sitting on the ground trying to figure out his next move, and Biz is looking like she's shackled with arms behind her back. So Mercer and Biz, you see Hugo enter with one of the guards.
Oh, hello, Hugo. Do you guys need help with more questions? I mean,
Hush now.
we didn't do anything.
Hush, hush, shh. He looks up. He looks over to Carrick, and just says, "Your friend here has a very nifty trick." And he says, "We need to get you both out of here now. You're both in grave danger. I must take you.
Agreed.
I must take you." He audibly just like falls silent for a moment, thinking that easiest way to just get you out of here without being seen. He says, "Okay, first, let's see what we can do about these shackles." And
Hearing him say that,
Well-
I just attempt to break them behind my back since they've already been weakened.
give me a strength check.
I'm just doing this just to show off. I really hope I don't fail.
See what happens.
15.
15.
Mercer.
I don't have any bonuses, but
Right.
yeah.
With a 15, you actually snap and break the chain. Shackles are still on because it was weakened by Biz's hit. So you actually do snap the chain. Both of you still have the shackles on, but the chains are now broken. And
I
Hugo
just hope-
Hugo is very taken aback by this. Looking at your figure, he's like, "You must be working out." He says, "Okay, that'll do for now." And he walks over to Biz. He says, "Let me see your shackles." Alrighty then. Seems both of you are stronger than you appear.
I
And-
think my friend Mercer here might have a way to get us out unseen.
Oh?
I'm not sure. You came in here. Are they expecting you to leave with us, or are you just coming in to interrogate us?
Oh, they're expecting us to walk out of this room very shortly.
So then I can't turn us invisible because then we're not there.
You could turn yourselves invisible?
Sometimes.
How many of
when
you?
we choose.
How many of you?
Only 2.
That's all you need. That's a good start. Turn yourselves invisible and follow me.
Okay, so I run over to Biz. I touch her shoulder and I cast invisibility using my sorcery points to twin spell it. So I run out of sorcery points again.
Okay,
I
so
don't have a lot of those.
you are out of sorcery points, but both of you are now invisible. So Mercer and Biz are now completely invisible to the naked eye.
Okay.
Boy, you guys are just full of tricks. He says, "All right, follow me." And you see him pull out a ring of keys and unlock the door to the north, and that reveals a hallway, so to speak. More of, it looks like there's like fine china off to the right side in the cabinets, probably for use in obviously the dining room. And you guys can take control of your miniatures on the board if you like. Otherwise, I can kind of move you around if you'd like. So let's see here. He is assuming that Biz and Mercer are now following him as Carrick, the guard, which you two don't know that this is Carrick. You just think a guard is following you, but you kind of got the inkling that it's one of your allies disguised as a guard, considering you said your friend here.
Yeah, that's why I said what I said in the beginning because I didn't know
Right.
it was Carrick.
Right. So, he leads you to a door to the north, and he says, "Wait here one moment." And he just opens the door and shuts it. A moment passes.
Everyone dies.
Everybody dies of an aneurysm. Game over. No.
Dragon.
So reroll new characters, everyone. No, it's playing. He comes
'Cause I
back.
got 3 for backup. I can't trust.
He comes back, opens the door. Revealing a more of like an office area with a fireplace to the north. Or I should say more of like a boardroom, like a meeting room, I should say. Not really an office area. But you can see that he is like waving you on. It's like, come. And he immediately runs over to this back window and unlocks it and opens the window. Go. I hope both of you, he can't see you guys, so he's like, I hope both of you get out. I'm going to literally give you 5 seconds before I shut this window.
I pat him on the shoulder as I go and just quietly whisper, "Thank you."
Okay, both of you give me, I need stealth checks from both of you with advantage because you're invisible.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Well, that's not a good first one. Come on, second one. Okay, that's better. 14.
Okay.
I got 17.
Thought she was supposed to be the non-stealthy one.
Right.
I
Now,
know. I got rid of my clunky armor.
right, I was about to say, you got rid of your clunky armor. It's a good thing you did because you normally have disadvantage, which would just make it a straight roll, but since you're wearing light armor right now, you're good to go. So, 17 and a 14? Okay. Let me see something. All right. So you Mercer pats Hugo on the shoulder and jumps out the window. Biz hops out the window herself. And Hugo 5 and shuts the window, closes it. You need to get out of here yourself. I'm assuming you know your way back.
Kind of.
It
I think I can find my way back, yeah.
it may be best for you to actually leave. Out the window again. He opens the window and says, just go. Just go.
Okay, here we... And I go.
He dives out the window. Give me a stealth check. For you as well.
Oh, gotta be kidding me.
What do we got, bud?
That's the 9.
Okay. You guys all hop out the window. You still look like a guard who just hopped out of a window. Hugo shuts the window behind you, gives you a little nod, and you see him just disappear. Not sure where he went into the manor. What are you three now doing?
I to immediately, well, first I'm gonna turn. I do a perception check to see if I see anybody other than the guard that's in front of me that I assume is an ally
Sure.
because he's not redded on me.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh God, I see no one. It's a 5. I suck at perception.
Okay. Well, you're a charismatic bastard. You can't be good at everything. Okay,
I
so
don't think I've succeeded on a perception roll yet.
hey, it is what it is. You'll get one eventually. So you do not see anyone as you and Biz are still invisible. You have Carrick the guard standing out in the middle of the bush or the grass by himself at this point. What are you guys doing?
I'm gonna turn to what is Carrick, but I don't know that. Who are you? What are we doing?
I suggest you run back to the inn and get the others.
God.
Do you
Alright.
recognize his voice?
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's talking like Carrick, but he looks like a guard.
Okay.
Yeah. Alrighty. Do we know? Did you learn anything from Hugo? We need
Now's
to go.
not the
But
best time. You'll talk
Okay,
at the end.
we'll talk later.
And I start
Yeah.
going.
Okay, so you guys start booking it, and as you come around the corner, you actually do see Aaron and Mist to your immediate left, about 20 feet to your left, standing in the bushes, so to speak, kind of maybe talking amongst themselves, maybe working out a plan. And Mist, or Aaron doesn't see this with her back, but Mist, you see Mercer and actually, no, you don't.
They're
You're invisible. They're invisible. They're invisible. You don't see anything.
Carrick follow us?
No, Carrick's gonna start looking like he's patrolling the grounds.
There you go. Okay, so Carrick is following you, but just walking at a slower pace.
Okay.
Okay, so what is Biz and Mercer? What are you two doing?
I'm heading over to them.
If they're heading our way, can
They're invisible.
Right.
Okay.
But they're invisible, right?
Yep.
So I would still, if I'm just trying to figure out what's going on,
Mhm.
still kind of keeping an eye out because there's 3 in there. I don't know what's going on. I'm just
Right.
trying to make sure guards don't come.
Right.
Can I roll perception to like possibly have heard like their shackles like banging around? Because I don't know.
That is true. They would. The chains would be clinking around a little bit.
Yeah,
I
because
would,
it's not passed without a trace. They're just invisible.
right. But they are invisible. I would say disadvantage on the perception because
Okay.
they are invisible.
All right, no problem. Hold on.
Is that versus our stealth or just general?
Yeah, it's just gonna be a general roll to see if he sees you guys. But yeah, it probably end up would be during. We'll see. We'll see how this goes out. What you got, bud?
So with that disadvantage, that's a natty 1.
Natty 1. Yeah, you don't hear or see anything, so you're just sitting there conversating with Aaron.
All right.
Or
So Biz
conversing.
is just gonna see them and just walk straight up to Aaron because Mist is
And I'm
more likely
walking
to
over
shoot
too.
you.
Okay.
Aaron, we gotta go.
Aaron screams. Biz?
Yes, we gotta go. We got out. We're invisible.
That's amazing. Next time, like, fucking warn me, okay?
How do we? And I'll just say, how do we warn someone when we're invisible?
I don't know. I don't know.
As you guys are having this conversation, I'm gonna move Carrick. Mist. Now that you're still looking that way, you see a guard now come around the corner of the building.
But he looks like the same guard he was when I saw him, right?
You can give me a perception check on that to see if you can make out his face.
6.
As he's coming around the corner, he's kind of looking left and right, moving his head around a little bit, looking like he's actually doing a patrol. Can't really make out what he looks like in the face.
I just kneel down more into the hedges
Okay, so you
and kind of like
Mhm.
bring Aaron down with me. Like, fuck, let's hide.
So you drag Aaron down as you duck. He's like, oh shit, and just grab her by the waist and just like drag her down.
Yeah, she's gonna shriek again. Just so you know. Like, "Oh, jeez."
Seeing that, turn around to see what they look at. Well, I should recognize that he was following behind us.
Yes,
So that
yes.
I just see that they screamed at him because he looks like a guard, and I just whisper back to them, "It's fine. It's Carrick.
Oh Jesus Christ! Can we
Go."
get out of here, please?
Okay, so Carrick the guard, 2 invisibles, and Aaron and Mist are now out as Carrick starts to approach. Over to, I would assume you're approaching them, or what do you do, Carrick? You come around the corner and see Aaron and Mist just like fall into the bushes. What do you do?
I was actually seriously. I was going to act as if I were patrolling the grounds. I was going to leave them alone to get the fuck out.
Ah, okay then. Okay, so you're leaving them alone, pretending like you just don't even see them, and then I'm assuming you 4 are just gonna book it back to the inn?
Yup.
Where are we going?
What do you guys want to do? What's the plan?
Hey, DM, let's just say that I noticed them standing around there, and I'm just like,
Give it a little wave, like go, 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 kind of thing.
yeah.
Okay.
We need to go somewhere where we can be safe, where we can hide.
I know just the spot. Let's fucking go back to the inn. Let's go.
Okay, so you two book it, assuming that Mercer and Biz are following behind, considering they're invisible, and you guys are just sprinting, like full tilt, just going for it down the path,
Yeah.
quickest route.
Yep.
Okay, so you two, well, you four, are just now out of the bushes, onto the path, due south, just going. Okay, I'm gonna take off the map. We'll just go back to this. Okay, so with you guys running down south, heading back towards town, Carrick, what are you doing now? They've been gone for like out of your visual for about a good minute now. What are you doing?
So I was gonna do like a full rotation of the grounds, and then kind of out of sight, walk off into the woods and head back towards the inn through the woods.
Okay, so you're doing a counterclockwise pattern around the grounds of the manor, essentially.
Mhm.
Okay, so you start heading back towards the front door area, and you hear. Actually, give me a perception check.
That would be a 19.
Okay. You hear voices. It's a little muffled because it's coming from inside the building or inside the manor. You do hear what's possibly some kind of argument. Kind of hard to make out the words, but there's definitely some elevated tones. And you're not quite sure what that means. And you're hearing that as you're passing in front of the manor doors. What do you do?
I would like to pause for a minute and see if I can hear a little better.
Okay. So you pause for a moment. As you left the front door open, you can now put your back towards the other door and just kind of lean a little bit, and now you can audibly hear a few guards arguing, "Where have they gone? Where have they gone?" And you hear another voice saying, I'm not sure the Lord's gonna have our heads." It's like, what do we do? And you hear another voice, "I'm not quite sure." And you feel they're probably like right on the other side of the doors near you. The other set of double doors. Says, "Oh God, we need to think of something. We need to think of morning, Lord, save us." So with that information, what do you decide to do?
Same plan. I'll start making my way through the woods back towards the inn.
Okay. Are you going to complete your grounds, or are you just leaving now? Or complete your rounds around the ground, or are you just leaving right now?
Yes. I want to make like I'm completing my rounds, but I do want to sneak off through the woods.
Okay. You just tell me when you would like to leave. Do you want to make a full circuit, like a 3/4 or half? Because if you do half, once you get to the corner you're at, that'll be about a half a round, and then you can leave. 3/4 would be you're going back up the east wall towards the north, and a full round, obviously, you're right back where you started at that window. So what are we doing, half, 3/4, or full, before you decide to leave?
There doesn't appear to be like windows on this side, does there?
No, that's the west wall over there. You came from that direction. But as far as windows, you didn't notice. Oh, I didn't. I should have shown you that. No, that's just a wall. That's just a blank wall. I apologize.
Okay. I guess I will complete a rotation at a point where there
Okay, so
are no windows and sneak off.
okay. That would be when you find no windows. Would be just a half rotation. There is no windows in that right side of the building.
Okay.
So a half rotation, you notice there's no windows that could easily see you. So you decide to book it essentially. Staying as a guard and walking away, running away. What are you doing?
I will walk as the guard, and when I crest through the bushes, I'll go back to hobo form.
Okay, so back to hobo. Okay, good. So you now look like a degenerate hobo and are now dirty old man, and you start walking through the woods back towards the inn. Yep. Okay. The rest of the party, you guys get back to the inn without incident. You see a couple stragglers, what's left of the events that happened in the town square. But you guys get back to the inn with no problems at all. A couple townsfolk see you guys running through sees Mist and Aaron booking it back towards the inn, but don't really pay you much mind. And you guys enter through the front door. Or I should say, as you enter through the front door of the Mug and Stallion, you see Tatum behind the bar, just like head in his hands, elbows on the table, head in his hands, and just mumbling to himself. And he looks up as to see, I would assume Mist is probably broken through the door first. Sees Mist, and you just hear this audible sound of relief. Where's the rest of you?
Mist will just go straight to the bar.
I'm sorry. Where's the rest of you?
Mist is at the bar. Aaron's here. The two others are here. Just you can't see them right now, but they're here. And Carrick.
You guys are just full of tricks.
Yeah. We're all safe for the moment. I need to know something from you right now.
What's that?
That thing you showed me?
Yes.
I assume just you and I know about it.
And me wife.
Okay. I need to know, can it be found by any sort of means? Did you put sort of magic on it? Can they detect it? Because I really think we're going to need to be to hold people up somewhere. And that is the only place I can think of at the moment.
I mean,
and there are some things in there that if you hadn't gone and checked yet, we need to get them out of this place, because I assume, and Mist kind of looks up, trying to do the math in his head. We have probably less than a few hours before somebody comes rushing in here, and all of that information needs to be put in safe hands.
I'll tell you this much right now. I've been here for many, many years. No one has ever found it. Hence, I keep the pantry dark for a reason. I think it's a safe room for a reason. All of my belongings that I'd like to keep safe have been safe for many years in there. Only me and my wife, and now you know about it.
We entered.
Yeah. Everybody except Carrick is in the tavern.
Okay, so seeing there's only people that are friends and stuff, I'm just gonna drop invisibility on us.
Okay,
It's
so
hard to...
you two are now visible, and he's audibly or visibly shook for a moment, and just snaps for a moment. Full of tricks, full of tricks. He just looks. He looks over at you, Mercer. And he goes, "Maybe in another life we could have been We could have been something, my friend.
Maybe.
So-
So Hugo helped us out. He said he had evidence that he's been collecting too that could definitely help us.
I apologize if you guys can hear the fireworks going off in the background. I have no idea why people are lighting off fireworks.
I tell that because I know that only me and and Mercer, or no, sorry, I am Mercer. Me, Biz, and Carrick are aware.
You're gonna have to repeat
So-
that. I totally got distracted by the fireworks. I apologize.
I was like, so Hugo helped us out.
Uh-huh.
A little worried about what's gonna happen to him if they find out that, but he told us that he's been collecting evidence too against the Lord. So we have that for us. We should probably act fast. I don't know what they might do to him because he entered and they know that he entered and they were expecting us to leave with him.
Hugo could take care of himself. Believe me. Just trust me on this one. He can take care of himself. As
So
far
what's
as
the plan?
as far as the evidence, he looks over at Mist. Where is it exactly?
Mist kind of closes his eyes and he tries to think of where he put it. If you open it up, top right, back behind some scraps of leather.
I'll be right back. And he walks. He leaves for a moment. About 30 seconds pass. He comes back out. Nothing in his hands. I see it. Didn't open it, but I see it. If you say the evidence is needed in there, I don't need to look at it right now. I don't feel I don't have time for that. But I'll trust you.
Okay.
But it's in there.
So good. The plan, you have contacts and a network. I have contacts and a network. Together, I'm sure you and I can spread word and figure out what next steps we need to do.
Spread word about what? What are you thinking?
This clearly needs to leave this town. It needs to go higher. You are all for, in your reformed ways, letting the law be the law.
He nods.
So I'm going to use that, or all of us are going to use that. If that means we need to start sowing deception in the town, to start having townspeople start not believing in the Lord.
He stops you. He just stops you right there,
Okay.
and just says, "Nobody believes that fucking prick. Nobody believes if he just takes a deep breath for a moment. Here's what I believe we should do. Take it or leave it. This is my advice."
Kill him.
He looks down at the gnome. As much I would love to wring his fucking neck, we can't. We can't do it. Murder is we can't do it. You will be executed. He still is a lord, as much as a prick he is. He was appointed here by the Hires and up in Gilcra.
We could make it look like an accident, I'm sure.
If you got any ideas, I'm for it, but right now, I think this is what we should do. We need to wait for Hugo. We need to see his evidence as well. We need to collaborate on all of our information, combine those together. Let's see where we stand. We cannot act until we know what we all know. All the information needs to be shared. And as he's saying this, Carrick comes through the door dressed as a homeless man. So he audibly just stops for a moment. How can I help you there, stranger?
Carrick's a little lost. He's a little shaken up by the events of the evening and is a little lost. So he kind of forgot on the journey what was going on. So he's, let's just say, in his past, he gets into character a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Being on the scene, he just gets into character a little bit. So he's kind of gone hobo brained,
Right.
and is just stumbling about the inn for a minute.
So you're walking through the door. Don't bother shutting it, and he just
Might
follows you.
just go
Follows
sit
you
at a
visibly.
table.
Uh-huh. He follows
And
you visibly.
nothing is said.
Oi! Can I help you, stranger?
Is this the same hobo that I saw him turn into
Yes.
when he was in?
Or is it? I don't know. Is it, Carrick? Is it the same one? Or
Good
did
question.
or did you change into somebody
I would
looking different?
say- Well, here's a question for you, DM.
Uh-huh.
Assuming that I have used this skill before I met the party,
Uh-huh.
how much of a repertoire do you think I have?
A lot. You sailed the seas and you've seen a lot of different people, so you probably have a good inkling of, like, you probably have quite a few people you could turn into. All you have to do is just visibly see somebody one time, and
Right. No, yeah. How many times do you think I've used the hobo persona in town?
in town, you've used it. You've turned into a hobo. You've turned into a guard. So you've technically used it
Before all this.
Oh, before this. You really wouldn't have had to use it that often, considering, I mean, there was no trouble going on here. You really had you weren't doing anything nefarious, so there was really no need for you to turn into anyone else.
So I wouldn't need necessarily to change it up every once in a while.
No.
So yeah, it's the same hobo.
Okay, well then, yes, Mercer, you recognize that as Carrick in a hobo form.
I'm just gonna say, Carrick, you gotta find some way to identify you when you do this.
All you get is a yeah, right. Drink.
Okay, so Tatum just looks at the hobo and just looks back at Mercer, looks back at Carrick, who he now realizes is Carrick. Carrick, since when can by the fucking Lathander's light? Do you guys all have these tricks?
I just got my sword.
I need Mist, give me an insight check.
I'm gonna go close the door.
Actually, Aaron
Now
too.
that I know it's
Aaron and Mist both give me insight checks real quick. This is just for fun. I just want to see what you guys roll. I want to see what happens. 18?
18. Yep.
22.
Ooh.
Both of you realize that that inflection in Tatum's voice, he is so fucking jealous. Knowing his backstory, he is so fucking jealous that he's not able to do those kinds of things. Proceed.
The door is now closed. Biz walked over now, knowing that it's Carrick, and shut the door, kind of like indignantly, like. Ugh.
I'll say we all have our own strengths here. How about this? In the future, if you ever want to tag along with us, I'll see about letting you have a little fun with invisibility.
I'm retired, although I might take you up on that. I've always wanted to play a prank on me wife that I always thought would be pretty fun.
When this is all said and done, name the time.
I'll hold you to that. With that, I think
You were saying the proper recourse here, like figuring out Hugo's information, and then what else are we doing?
we need Hugo's information, and we can take it from there. Without his information, I honestly don't know the next plan. Otherwise, you guys need to show your information. Even with that, We need to wait on Hugo. He's the next in power, essentially. He may seem excuse me.
I
may-
do
he-
make that look when he says that. I just go, he says next in power.
He's next in power. Under the Lord, Hugo, if anything were to happen to him, Hugo has, by all right, the authority to act as the governing body of this area.
Aaron,
So-
can we poison him?
He hears you
He
say
has a sudden onset of diabetes.
You wouldn't know what diabetes is.
Aaron remembers.
He's faint of heart.
Aaron remembers when Tatum was like, "Don't kill him," and so Biz says that, and she's like, and she just kind of looks at Tatum like,
Oh, fine.
He's just
Fine, we
he
won't
just
kill him.
visibly smiles and just looking at Biz, he goes, "You're a cute one. I love the way you think."
Don't
I'll take that as
condone
a compliment.
don't condone her action, but if we wanted to give him a poison that doesn't kill him, just paralyze him, I can cure him of that after we get him restrained.
That's actually good to know.
Mist just kind of perks his head up to everyone and is like, that still doesn't change the fact of a letter coming from someone we don't fucking know.
If he's
Who
restrained,
had-
we can interrogate him.
If you think the Lord is going to come off of information like that willingly, by all means, the four of you can go run a fool's errand. But my concern now is if Hugo played some role, which I don't even know how the fuck y'all got out of there. But if Hugo's played some role in getting y'all out, he has to answer to the Lord because the Lord is probably paranoid as fuck right now. We all need to be on pins and needles. The two of you, and he looks to Mercer and Biz, shouldn't be seen anywhere in this town. The three of us, we really shouldn't be seen either because they know we know you, which means they know that we know where y'all are.
And
So
where
either-
are we going to be?
Either we set up camp somewhere in this town that we can hide in.
With
Because-
bloodhounds
Okay,
that could sniff us
Then-
out.
then you tell me what the plan is going to be. Because all I'm going for, and I really, really want to kill someone. And I'm
Agreed.
siding,
"You already killed someone."
and I'm siding with Tatum.
What? He
Oh,
killed someone?
Maybe, possibly. It was to help ourselves out. So, and again, this is all allegedly. Let's
It's not allegedly. I watched you shoot him in the eye with your arrow. You already killed someone.
All
As
right.
Tatum hears this, who did you kill? Looking at Mist.
At that, Carrick just immediately turns back into the guard, sipping his drink.
Oh no!
He looks up and sees your face, and he just like all emotion has now left his face. Says
Oh, he hates us now.
he looks back at Mist. Is this true?
Mist just stares him dead in the face.
You say anything?
Allegedly.
What's your armor class?
Oh!
He grabs you by the back of your head and bounces your face off of the bar, and then pushes you down, falling to your back on the ground, almost
Steps in front of him.
almost breaking your nose. And you are now you're now on your back, in the middle of the bar.
Can I use half of my movement speed to get up?
Sure.
Aaron steps in
And
front of him.
And as I get up, I pull out my short sword
Aaron steps in
and I
front of
look at him. I look directly at him. Since we're all going to put cards on the table, I wouldn't have had to do anything if the shapeshifter over there wouldn't have got into a fucking fight with the guard in the first place. So
He
if
looks.
you
He
wanted to-
hold on. Pause that. He with you saying that. What's your armor class, Carrick?
He needs to get his maker out.
What is it? I'm sorry.
16.
In the middle of this conversation that Miss is having, Miss, give me a perception check.
$20.
Give me a acrobatics check.
20.
Ooh.
Everybody else would have missed this, except missed. That's funny. Missed this. Missed. Okay, sorry. It's punny. Leave me alone. Everybody else would have literally would have missed this action that was about to occur, except you. Hand under the bar, raised up, throws a dagger directly at Carrick. You see the motion going, and as you stood up, you knock his hand out of the way, and you actually grab out of midair the dagger, which is now in your hand. So now you have a short sword and a dagger in your left hand. And he just looks back at you. He just looks back at you and just says, I'm sorry I've lost me temper a bit. I didn't really know the lad. But I was hoping you all were better than this. He was an innocent in all of this, just following orders. Everyone here hates the Lord. I really have nothing else to say to you all at this time. And as soon as he's about to finish that sentence, everybody hears this audible best way to describe it is this like warping sound, and that's all you hear. And you guys see this like rift open up in the bar about like 20 to 25 feet in front of Carrick, and you just see this like bluish white purple sphere for a moment, and then steps out Hugo Tremblefoot, and it closes behind
I'm
that.
just gonna look at that, be shocked, and go, "Wow, Hugo got some tricks too."
And Tatum just looks and says, I was in the wrong fucking business. And Hugo just says, safe room now, to Tatum. And Tatum just nods, and Hugo goes around the back. Missed what?
Mist looks at Hugo and then looks to fucking Jack or to Ralph and is just like muttering under his head, "Oh, Only me and your wife and you know about the fucking safe room.
Hey man, you could have said, "Hey, can I make an insight check on him?" You've never once said, "Can I make an insight check on any of the shit he has said?" So remember that. If you feel somebody's lying or like that, just say, "Can I make an insight check on that?"
I had no idea he was lying.
Mm-hmm.
He showed me his safe room.
Mm-hmm.
He gave me gifts.
Mm-hmm.
And
I'm
you
not gonna
allegedly
be
killed
lying.
He
someone.
buttered you up. Anyways, all right, back into it. So, he says, "All of you wait here," and he takes Hugo in the back, and
Fuck that shit. I walk with him.
Yeah, Aaron's coming with him.
I will stop and look at Aaron and be like, "This isn't the time. I know you want to. I know you
I'm
do."
just gonna walk past him.
oh, okay. So Aaron is following closely behind, and Tatum walks up to the pantry, stops, turns around. Well, I guess there's no use in hiding anything else.
I'm pretty sure that after I saved your wife's life, you owe me one. And you hurt my friend, and the only reason why I have not hurt you back is because I think you're a good man. So you owe this to me.
I appreciate that, but your friend killed an innocent.
He did kill an innocent, but the casualties of war are often such as that. And there is a time
He
to
stops you right
grieve.
there. You know nothing. He's getting close to your face. You know nothing of war?
You know nothing about what I know.
Give me an intimidation check. Give me an intimidation check.
Oh shit.
Come on, big social skills.
Straight 10.
10?
Oh, yeah.
I'm intimidated.
He just kind of just leans back again instead of it gets out of your face a bit and just says, "Arguing right now is going to solve nothing.
I agree.
Do yourself a favor, though. Go and get the rest of your friends and meet me back here."
I'm gonna walk past them.
Mhm.
And I'm assuming Mist is just like standing right behind me because I've just swerved him.
Uh-huh.
And I'll go get the rest of the group and bring them back.
Okay.
I'm just-
So,
Just gonna look at Carrick when they went off. I'm just gonna look at Carrick and say, "Can you be yourself for a little bit?" It's a little off-putting seeing somebody who I know now is not with us anymore.
As soon as Tatum had gone from me, I immediately knee jerked back to normal.
okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
So, you guys at the end of that see Aaron kind of wave you guys in the back, like, "Come on, we got business. Let's go." I'm assuming everybody follows.
Mhm.
Okay, so everybody heads back behind the bar, and Hugo and Tatum are now standing there, just having a little conversation amongst themselves. And as Tatum sees everybody enter, he just does one last look around, see if anybody else walked in. All right, let's go. So he leads. You see, Mist already knows about this, but you four see Tatum walk into the pantry, knock twice, knock once, and you hear click, and a secret door in the back of the pantry now opens up into a small safe room. Now with that, you also see him now visually walk to the, as soon as he walks in, takes a little bit of a left and stomps and twists his foot as a little square of the floor has now moved out of the way, revealing a tiny ladder leading straight down.
Can I do a perception check so I can see where he stomped?
Sure.
$22.
Yeah, you definitely, you saw exactly what he did. Okay, so
Noted.
with that, he climbs down a ladder. Hugo climbs down a ladder. Everybody follow?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm thoroughly impressed right now.
Hmm.
As you guys go down
Everybody's got tricks.
Yep. You guys go down the ladder one by one. It's dark in here right now. And Tatum goes back up the ladder a bit and slides the ceiling essentially shut, the floor for the other room, but the ceiling to where you're at now. There is light in this room, but it's not from candles. It is from these tiny stones that look like tiny suns, essentially, kind of just floating ever so gently in the air, about a foot or so off the ground. And in the middle of this dirt room, there's no actual walls here. It's just like literally like somebody took a shovel and dug straight down and made a makeshift hole/room. But in the middle of this room is it's a good sized room. It's about like 20 foot by 30 foot room. It's pretty big. And you feel you climb down at least like 20, 25 feet into the ground. It is more of like, think of it as a like a boardroom. There is a table with many chairs sitting around this table. And that is all that is in this room. That's it. Tatum goes to the head of the table across the room. Hugo sits next to him. What are you guys doing?
I sit
I'm on the other
across.
side. I'm on the other side of Tatum.
You mean like the total opposite of Tatum?
No, like you know how he had the head of the table and
Yep.
Hugo was on one side.
Yep.
I'm on the other side.
Okay. So you're sitting. So he sits down. To his right is Hugo. So to his immediate left now, you sit next to him.
I'm not letting him get any closer to Miss.
Sitting next to Hugo.
Okay.
Sitting at the opposite end of Tatum, at the other side of the table.
Okay. I'm gonna give myself a little diagram here. Tatum, Hugo, Aaron, Mist is on this end. Mercer, where'd you say you're sitting next to Hugo?
Hugo. Yep.
Mercer. Then where are Carrick and Biz sitting?
I'll just pick any seat. I don't really care.
Okay, so you sit next to Mist.
I said I'm next to Aaron 3 times before I realized I was on mute.
Oh. And you sit next to Aaron.
My bad.
Okay. So,
I'm looking at the lights, trying to see, or the stones to see
Uh-huh.
what is doing it. If it's similar to my light spell that I have, or if it's something different.
it's pretty similar. You would know that kind of spell. It is essentially some kind of light spell that has been enchanted onto these stones.
Okay.
And there's 4 of them, one in each corner of the room, and that helps provide like a little bit of dim light in this room. Now, I'm sorry, I should have mentioned as Tatum was walking in, he grabbed the sack of your stuff you stashed in there, and then did that. I forgot to mention that. So he sets it on the table, and then since you are all the way across from him, he says, "You brought it. You do the honors," and just whoosh, slides it across the table to you, and it stops about a foot short of the edge of the table, right in front of you, Mist.
So Mist will pull it out, like he'll undo the leather armor, he'll
Mhm.
undo like the leather helmet.
Yep.
And then he'll put out on the table, he'll put out the blade. Next to the blade, he puts out the letter from the still unknown pen pal.
Okay.
And then, since we're being honest, apparently, he pulls out the tax papers and the writ of who all works for who in the town.
Okay. So you pulled out everything.
Not the
I mean-
rubies.
Oh, not the rubies. Yeah, no.
So you
no,
leave the because the rubies were in a smaller sack, so you leave that in the bigger sack of the satchel of everything.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Fair enough.
yes. And then he'll just kind of like bundle up that big sack.
Yep.
And he'll just kind of like pocket and be like, okay, whatever.
All right, good deal. Okay, so all the documents, the letter, and the dagger are on the table then, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Hugo then looks to Tatum and says, It looks like they came up with a good amount of items down there. If you don't mind, there, Mr. Mist. Wait, did you guys introduced yourselves to him, didn't you? As far as your
Yes.
names? Okay.
Yeah, we did.
I couldn't remember that honestly, because Mr. Mist. Would you mind me seeing those items?
Part
He's-
of me does,
He's being polite about it,
I-
obviously.
and Miss is like, I partially do, but, and he looks at Tatum,
Mhm.
and as he does so, he kind of adjusts his nose.
Right.
He seems to fucking trust you enough, and so he'll gently kind of like push the items over to Hugo and be like,
Okay.
I-
Well, no, not necessary. Hugo actually stands up, but once you tell him it's okay,
Oh,
he'll
okay.
stand up and walk around to you and just kind of
All right.
stand next to you and just start looking at everything.
Okay.
So first thing he does is pick up the regular documents. Okay, it's the first thing, the stack of papers. So he starts. Okay, nothing seems out of the ordinary here. No, this isn't useful to us at all. And he sets that down. Then he picks up the dagger and
Careful with that.
yeah, he picks up the dagger and his eyes just widen.
Please have identify.
He just looks up at Tatum. I know what this is. This is a blood-packed dagger. Do you all know about this?
No.
What?
Carrick, Aaron, and
Oh.
I do.
Oh yeah, guys. Dagger is a blood pack dagger. Found it in the drawer with the letter. Don't know whose blood is on it, but I'm assuming that it's the Lord's and somebody else's. But yeah.
I will come
So
back to
this
this.
this goes beyond the manor then. Oh, good lord.
He puts the dagger down on the table and says, "I will come back to this. Let me see this other document." And he picks up the letter and starts to read it. And he's reading it. I actually had the letter in front of me again. He starts to read it. And he stops. To the depths they went, from the depths they return. And all the color just goes away from his face, turning almost like sheet white, and starts to visibly shake. Just like nervous. He's always had that little bit of a twitch and stutter, as you've noticed. He's visibly shaking now, and you can audibly hear the paper in his hand.
I'll just go. Hugo, are you okay?
This
You
isn't
recognize that?
good. This is not good at all.
From the
It-
depths of hell? Like the hellhound?
Precisely. That's exactly
We're
what
in
that
Northern
meant.
deep shit. We're in the pit of hell
This
right
is from
now.
the fucking depths of hell.
Oh,
He sets that
God.
paper down. That is very good incriminating evidence right there. He takes the dagger back, and you see the dagger in his right hand, and his left hand passes over it, and he closes his eyes, and you see this magical force start to emanate from his hand and starts to just go from one side of the dagger to the next. And he opens his eyes, and they're just visibly like sky blue right now, and they blink back to his normal eye color, and he drops the dagger on the table, and you just clink, clink, clink. That fucking prick. His shaking has stopped. He's become like a statue at this point, trying to take in the information that he now knows. He
What about the Lord?
blinks, looks down at the dagger. The blood pact definitely worked. There are 2 names attached to this dagger. One is in fact the Lord's. Lord Tornellus is attached to this dagger. The other is an old colleague of mine. Varnuth Withers. He's an understudy of Raoul Rothanel. Sorry, Raoul Rothanel. Aaron, you instantly recognize that person's name. Raoul Rothanel. You instantly recognize that person's name. For he is the head scholar of the Gilcra Library.
Bastard.
Well, no, I just said that the Vanuth Withers is the understudy of Raoul. Okay?
Right.
The person's blood who is on there is Vanuth, is what he says. So Vanuth and the Lord both have, or Tornellus, yeah, have made some sort of blood pact with this dagger. And he's just visibly shaken by this. We need to get the Lord out of this town now. He needs to be taken to Gilcra as soon as possible to stand trial for his transgressions.
How do you propose
Will
we do
the-
that?
We need to go back to the manor, and we are going to take him by force if necessary.
By force.
Will the guards believe you or listen to you with the evidence? Help us?
The guards will not be a problem.
I'm all for it, as long as we don't have to mess with any more innocent people.
No innocents shall be harmed this day. No more
Well-
innocent. No more innocents shall be harmed this day. Sorry.
So he knows.
Oh, you say Hugo knowing
Does-
about the Actually, no, he wouldn't know
The
that.
guard.
You're right. No, he wouldn't know that. No, so no innocence
Okay.
shall be harmed this day. So he does say that. And then he says, we all need to go now. There is no planning except this. We go in, we are kicking in the door, and we are taking him out of this town.
Can we go the way you came?
Right. Can you transport us instantly?
I can't take all of you at once. I'm sorry.
Will the fast ones go, and the slow ones?
He hold on, I'm just double checking something. He could bring Biz.
The slow one.
He could bring Biz with that.
Well,
That's it.
Yeah, even if he does bring Biz is faster than all of us. We would just run at the slowest person's speed to stay together.
It would be best for us to stay together. But we need to go now.
Okay.
Okay, let's
Well,
go.
I will. Should I go with? Should I go with him then? Just and then just wait for you so you can get there faster.
No, I think we can go
It's
now.
better to stay together.
We'll all walk together. And with that,
Okay.
Tatum, he just looks at Tatum. Tatum nods without asking any questions and just proceeds to walk back to the ladder, climb up the ladder, open the door, and whoop, he's out. And Hugo looks to you
Follow.
all, follow, and just goes back up the ladder. Everybody else follow up the ladder?
Immediately following, yep.
Okay, so the party goes up the ladder one by one.
I go and stash the satchel I had back to where I had it, since I clearly can't stop in my room and put up the rubies that nobody knows I have.
This is true. So,
Hugo keep the evidence, or is that now left on the table?
no, he gathered up all the evidence before, as everybody was kind of leaving. He was gathering
Making
up.
sure.
Yep. So he is now like leading this charge. Tatum stayed behind for a moment just to shut the trap door, and he's now. You guys are now like sandwiched between Tatum's all bringing up the rear, and Hugo is all the way up front. And you guys are now just marching out the door, like just heading straight for the manor. Is that the plan? Unless anybody else has anything else to do or say.
As we're marching, I want to still keep marching, but I'm gonna back up towards Tatum
Okay.
and let's go. Want to try that invisibility now?
Now is not the time. Now is
When we
not the
get
time.
there?
Now is not the time. This fucker is gonna pay, but now is not the time.
Figured
So
you could sneak up behind him and help us restrain him if he can't see you.
that is an idea.
We're still
But I don't-
marching. I'm not stopping.
Right.
while we're
Y'all are
going.
walking. He goes, I don't think that's necessary. Hugo seems to
Okay.
have this under control. So as you guys walk through the town square, any townsfolk that was still remaining for whatever reason, whether they were injured and couldn't walk that easily, it became audibly silent. As all you can now hear is just your own footsteps, and everyone is staring at you. And now those who could walk are now following behind Tatum. Just as sheer curiosity, keeping a wide berth. Like, they're probably like 60, 70 feet behind you guys. But you guys could easily just like look over your shoulder and just see you're starting to gather a little bit of a crowd is now following behind you guys. Not big, but about a dozen or so people are now following behind.
So we're reenacting Les Miserables.
Pretty much.
Awesome.
Pretty much. So, you march for a few minutes, and you are now at the front door of the manor. Hugo does not stop, just walks right in, opens the door, and opens up the second set of doors, and says, "My lord, emergency! I need to speak with you." Moment passes. You guys can audibly hear from outside. What is it now? My lord, there's been a predicament. We need your attention right now. Fine. So he starts coming down the steps, and Hugo now walks back outside, and you guys now see Lord Tornellus coming through the door, followed by 4 guard behind him. And now they all stand to Lord Tornellus' side, and Hugo says, "There's been an incident." And then the Lord now sees Mercer and Biz are obviously now in this crowd, and says, I surely would say so, as it seems you are harboring prisoners." And Hugo just looks Tornellus dead in the eye and says, "No, my lord. Or I should say, ex-lord. You are hereby charged with treason to the crown and will be stood trial 2 days hence in the name of His Majesty. Seize him." And all 4 guards go to attempt to grab him. And you see him just like, "Get your hands off of me! Get your hands off of me!" And one grabs his cane away and throws the cane on the ground. And another one just grabbing him by the arms and wraps their arms around him, like without hesitation. They all like really listen to Hugo, obviously, like
They don't like
instantaneous.
him.
Nope. They don't give a shit about the Lord at all. If Hugo says, it goes. They all visibly start wrapping him up and shackle him and bound and gag him. Feet tied up, hands tied up, arms tied up. I mean, he looks like a freaking Vienna sausage at this point with just ropes.
I take the cane.
No, I want the cane.
So as the cane hits the ground, Mist walks
Roll
up
initiative.
and grabs the cane. Are you both wanted to go for that cane at the same time?
Yes. Yes.
I
Yeah,
Both of you.
roll
my
initiative.
ability.
You guys were standing right next to each other. I could see it in her eyes. She wanted to do it. Okay, I'll put it this way. We're gonna leave it up to a contest.
He's an elf and I'm an elf and I want
Hold on.
freaking.
Hold on. Here's how we're gonna decide this. Unfortunately, Mist is gonna have the advantage here. I just need regular dex checks, regular dexterity throws. That's it. Roll plus dexterity modifier. That's it.
Come on.
Aaron, you have a +1 bonus.
You go first.
Oh, well, 21.
Yeah.
Damn it.
So Mist visually just like walks over to the cane that was like kicked aside, and it rolls towards Mist's feet, and he just nonchalantly just bends down, picks it up, throws it in his back. Or at least you're just gonna hold it in your hand, one of the two, whatever you want to do with it.
I'm just going to stand with my hands back behind me,
Mhm.
and I'm going to keep like a two-handed grip on the cane, like
Okay.
behind me, like standing at attention. So that way, if they look at me, they don't see like it's missing. It's just
Right.
straight there.
Gotcha. Okay. So Mist has this cane behind his back. And Hugo didn't see that. So rolled a 2. Y'all love this dice so much.
I
Y'all just
do.
love this freaking dice. So Mist picks up the cane. He's the Lord, or well, Tornellus is now just being wrapped up in like a Vienna sausage at this point, and being picked up by 4 guards, and are now carrying him to the side of the house where a cart is sitting there, and you're assuming this is probably the cart that was meant for Sydney.
Sydney.
So they just throw him in the back, as far as they know. Well, he needs to get out of here, so because he needs to go to Gilkra. This is the nearest cart, so we're just gonna throw him in the back of that. Hugo now looks to you all, excuse me, and says, I appreciate everything you guys have done here, or you all have done here. We must make haste for the city of Gilkra. There, Tornellus will stand trial for his transgressions. He will pay for everything he has done this day. And he walks up to, because Mist is closer to him, and he holds out his hand to you, Mist, to shake your hand.
Mist keeps one hand firmly wrapped around the cane behind his back and extends his right hand to shake Hugo's hand.
He shakes your hand, and knowing you're kind of like your demeanor and your stature, he finds it weird that he can't see your other hand. What do you have behind your back? As he still has your hand in a grip, and he's stronger than you think for a little halfling.
Mist will kind of adjust it to tuck into the back of his bow so it stays not hidden,
Okay.
and then moves his left hand around, and it's like, I'm standing at attention
Mhm.
because this seems like it's an official thing right now, Hugo.
Roll me a deception check.
It's gotta be difficult.
18 total.
Ooh, all right. Versus his insight.
Come on.
Oh.
Fine,
See,
like-
it's not a bad die.
I
Is that
finally
nat 20?
get one. That's a nat 20.
Oh, shoot.
He just kind of peeks as you fumbled just a little bit as you saw, and he saw the head of the cane You don't have to lie. I was gonna give it to you anyways. And he says he says, you don't seem like the kind of person that could actually use that though.
But I'm a person that enjoys gold.
Fair enough. He says to the town guard, everyone, or not to the town guard, just the crowd, about a dozen or so people that have gathered, go and tell the rest of the town that Tatum is in charge until I return from Gilcra. If any matters of law should be brought up, bring them to Tatum. And he just looks at Tatum, gives him a little nod, and Tatum just gives him a nod back and says, "All right, everyone, nothing else to see here. Let's move along. Let's go." Says, these good folk have their work cut out for them. That's a long journey ahead of them. And he starts to like shoo the crowd back towards the middle of town. And now all that's left is the 4 guards that you saw throw Tornellus in the back of the cart, and Hugo kind of shoos them away. He goes, "I will be with you momentarily. Please wait inside." Now all that's left is you and Hugo as the rest of the crowd disperses. Tatum disperses with them. The guards are inside, and he walks back over the mist and says, it just holds his hand out.
Mist puts his hand out.
Let me see his fucking cane.
You could have just asked nicely, Hugo. And he pops the cane off and hands it to him.
He holds his cane. Would you like to know what this is? Again, I was going to give it to you anyways. But if you want to be a dick about it, I won't tell you what this is.
Can everybody hear him?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. He's audibly just saying it out loud. It's not whisper.
I would like to know what it is very much.
I'm sure you do, miss.
Mist looks at Hugo and is like, "Yeah, I want to know what it is. Sorry. Please tell us, Hugo."
He's got a thing about secrets.
He takes the cane and gives it a twist and pulls out a thin blade in there, and it is a hidden rapier inside of it. But it doesn't look that strong. It looks like it's more for intimidation tactics, so to speak. So it like in battle, it might not hold up. You think it's just more intimidating to pull out a secret blade kind of thing out of a cane, essentially. It says, "This is pretty much for show. What it can actually do is this." He resheathes it, takes a couple steps back, so he's about 30 feet from you. Taps. Boom! And you hear that audible, loud blast again, and it shatters all of the glass in the Lord's Manor from that shockwave. And he says, "This is Thunderstrike." And he hands it back to you. And essentially what this thing does is it has 1d4 charges, and you can cast oh my god.
Thunderwave.
Thank you. You can cast Thunderwave from it at will, just using your action. But it requires attunement by a magic user to be able to know how to properly use it. But you can cast Thunderwave out of it. It has 4 charges, and it casts it at, I believe Thunderwave is a first level spell, or is that second level?
Thunderwave's
The
first
second
level.
I thought it was a second level. It's probably first level.
Thunderwave
I was
is
able
a
to-
first level. It is a first
I
level
was able to
spell.
pick it up level 1.
But essentially, it works like this: it has 4 charges in it, and it regains 1d4 charges daily at dawn, and you can burn 1 charge to cast it at first level, burn 2 charges to cast it at second level, burn 3 charges to cast it at third level, or burn all 4 charges to cast it at fourth level. And then it just has 0 charges, and you just roll a d4 daily at dawn to see how many charges it regains. Unlike wands, a lot of wands will break when you use their last charge, but that's usually because they have like 6 charges in it. This only has d4, so it won't break that way. So you can cast Thunderwave with it if you're a magic user. It needs to be attuned. And so he hands you back, Mist, the cane. Use it well. Something tells me we may need it on our journey.
When are we leaving?
Well, he like looks up at the sky. Seeing it is the afternoon. And he thinks it's probably about like, you guys think it's probably like midday, 1 o'clock, maybe like 2 o'clock at the latest. It's still midday now. He says we can leave in the morning. Would probably be best. So if you have any loose ends, you may want to take care of them now. And with that, we're going to end the session. That was really fun. Anybody who's been watching this, I hope you guys had a good time. I know we all did. We will see you guys on the next one. Everybody say bye.
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 Deuces.
Deuces.